song. I found the strength to move on. There in the moment I'm strong. I put the radio on.
Such a dream, baby, don't you know it? You shine and gleam, baby, don't you know it? Don't get it twisted, no. You see me dance, see my shadow show. Yeah, all the moves, baby, won't you groove? With me it's smooth, yeah, icy cold.
Let's talk about romance, walking on the beach, love is in the air. Let's talk about you, me, being all sweet, letting down my hair. I don't need a fancy car, crazy things, money or a diamond ring.
It's like an oceanic flow. The misty shadows come and go, even when the tide has turned. They always let me know how far I wouldn't go. Higher you climb, the harder you fall. There's no way to change this world. It comes to blow my mind. Time to say goodbye. Once I cross the line. Now, lift me up when I'm down. Who will fix me now? Now, I gotta be saved. No, no one here makes a sound. Standing up or sitting down, I will be saved. I've gotta be saved. I've gotta be saved. It's time to let me drown, hiding myself below. Push inside to keep control. Free for beast and it will grow. They never let me go. It's like an oceanic flow. It comes to blow my mind. I'm gonna be saved. No, lift me up when I'm down. Who will fix me now? No, I'm gonna be saved. No, no one here makes a sound. Standing up or sitting down, I will be saved. Lift me up when I'm down. Who will fix me now? And now, no one here makes a sound. Standing up or sitting down, I will be saved. I will be saved.
Said he tried to phone me, but I never have time. He said that I never listen, but I don't even try. I got a new place in Cali, but I'm gone every night. So I fill it with strangers, so they keep on the line. She said she told you she knows me, but the face isn't right. She asked if I recognized her, and I told her I might. See, everywhere I go, I got a million different people trying to kick it, but I'm still alone in my mind. I know you're dying to meet me, but I can just tell you this, baby. As soon as you meet me, you'll wish that you never did.
Look, I'm a rare spiritual. I'm in the physical and the metaphysical. I know you need you alone time, that's critical. But I need some of your time, is that hypocritical? Damn, you know I relate to you more than fam. So I won't sit around and let you sink in quicksand. Look, I know you got $1 million plans and you tryna build a brand, living life on high demand. Swerving big B's, your bag got little G's. Gucci down to the sock like Biggie and Little C's. Let's hit the Maldives and hide behind palm trees. Little red wine, weed, and a calm breeze. Cause baby, you been living life inside a bubble. When the last time you had somebody hug you? Hold up. When the last time you had somebody love you? Hold up. When the last time you loved someone who loved you?
Everywhere I go, I got a million different people trying to kick it, but
2018 AfreecaTV StarCraft League. Turnaround. Ro.8 TV ASL Season 5. Today's matchup. Hero, Jo Il-jang. Mai, Park Sung-gyun. Ro.8 TV ASL Season 5, Round 8.
Hey everybody, welcome to the ASL. It is good to be back. I had my day off, but I have returned. I'm back with the one and only the Tosis.
That's right.
And we've got a very special match for you guys today. Very special for our Tosis especially, because we finally get a Terran player that you get to talk about.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
It's actually been an incredibly long amount of time since I've gotten to cast a Terran.
Yeah.
Even longer since we've seen a Terran win a game.
This has been great for me. I've just been doing nothing but Protoss games, so I'm in the zone this season.
Yeah, well,
I'm a special favor to our Tosis, all the players decided to allow mine to get this far.
Yeah.
So our Tosis could talk about the games he wanted to see.
That's right. And you watch now, it'll be a 3-0 for Hero. And
I
I'll just
think
be like,
it might be. Mine is a really smart player. I think he might be not too old. I don't think he's modernized enough in his play.
You take it back.
I will
take
not.
it back.
I will not. I'm hoping that mine can perform well, but I think it's going to be tough. Hero is one of the hottest Zergs there is right now.
Yeah. I mean, he's the finalist from last season, right? And he's a Zerg specifically singled out by Flash as one that can keep up with Flash as far as the metagame goes. So I mean, that speaks volumes to this man's skill. Of course, we did have our match that you missed, Tasteless. A nice little PvP series. You're gonna have to go and watch that. It was Shuttle versus Rain, with Rain coming out on top 3-1. It was a pretty decent series. A couple good games, a couple kind of meh. It's like, oh, look, a DT got in, okay. On to game 4.
We also next week, or not even next week, what am I saying? It's Tuesday. On Sunday, we have Mini versus Larva, and then Tuesday, we have Flash versus Snow.
Yeah, and both those matches just out of control as well. Like, this whole round of 8 is completely fantastic. Whatever we get for the finals is going to be really, really exciting as well, right? In fact, like, a pretty reasonable finals would be Hero versus Flash, but Flash's side of the bracket, these are monsters he has to get through, so. But I look at this side of the bracket for Hero, I'm favoring him to get to the finals again, to be honest.
It's kind of funny, because I really do feel like Hero gets overshadowed by Jaedong and Larva a lot.
Yeah,
Jaedong is, obviously, anybody who's a fan of Zerg at all, you're going to be really big on Jaedong. Anybody who likes esports, Jaedong is an inspiration. And Larva is easily one of the most interesting streamers ever, but Hero, I think he might be the best out of them.
쪽 붙여서 남은 카드를 하나 쪽으로 배치를 한다든지.
살아가는 두 명의 테란이 전부 다 8강에 올라가는 모습을 보여줬습니다.
마이 박성규.
이 선수의 신장은 가장 잘 발휘가 됐다라는 그 하나만 가지고
끝날 때까지 끝난 게 아니다.
8강 B조 경기로
We are
인사드립니다.
now going to go to the interview phase,
지난
see what our
8강
players
A조
are
경기에서
thinking,
정윤종
and then jump
선수가
right
일단
into game
4강
number
진출을
1 in this
확정된
best of 5.
상태인데요. 이 정윤종 선수를
Excellent.
4강에서 만나기 위한 일전을 앞두고 있는 두 선수입니다. 조일장 선수와 박성균 선수 지금 바로
The winner of this
만나보겠습니다.
series will face
안녕하세요.
Rain.
네, 안녕하세요.
Here I'm joined with Hero in Mind. Hellos
두
all
선수가
around.
지난 8강 대진 조추첨 당시에 함께 방송을 하고 계셨어요.
네.
So when we were doing the round of 8
만난다는
brackets,
사실을 딱 확인하셨을 때 기분이 어떠셨나요,
you
조일장
guys were
선수?
doing a lot of training together.
저는 솔직히
Now that you
성균이랑
found out
만나고
you
싶지
were going up
않았는데
against each other, what was going on in your head?
좀 성균이는
Well,
다른
first of
것
all, I didn't want to
같더라고요.
face off against
그래가지고
mine.
좀
But I'd say
기뻐하는
mine
모습을
has
보니까
thinks
그래도
otherwise.
형으로서 뭐
I saw he was pretty happy to face me.
That look on mine's
그런
face.
생각은 없고 그냥 그래도 재밌을 것 같다고 생각했어요.
So do you think you need to punish him?
그럼 박성균 선수는
No.
정말 조일장 선수
I think we're
말씀대로
gonna have some great matches,
아주
though.
만난 게
Over to you, Mike.
흡족스러우셨어요?
근데
Are you actually
저도
satisfied to
사실
be facing off against
저보다
Hero?
원래
He's a great player.
원했었는데 뭐 일장형이랑 왠지 하기 싫었어요 왠지.
I definitely wanted to
저는
face
윤중이
off
형
against
사실
Zerg.
걸리게 바랬거든요. 윤중이 워낙에 자꾸 도발을 해갖고
네.
Although I ideally wouldn't want to
그런데,
face off against
어,
Hero.
윤중이 형 차라리
Maybe
올라와서
somebody
차라리
like Shuttle would have been
만났으면
okay,
좋겠다 싶었는데
since he's been
떨어지더라고요.
provoking me and talking
저는
trash.
일장형
I
만난
was actually
거는
hoping that
그냥
maybe Shuttle would make it to the
제가 뭐 적으로
semis,
원하긴
and I would win
했지만
here, and then I face off
뭔가
against
그렇게
Shuttle.
막 땡기진 않았어요.
서로 약간 좀
anyways, I was fine playing against Zergs, but as Hero's a friend, I wasn't thrilled to be facing off against him.
이번 ASL 시즌 5 굉장히 남다른 의미가 있으실 것 같습니다. 이번 대회 일장
So
선수에게
here, I'm
어떤
sure
의미신가요?
ASL Season 5 has very special meaning
그냥
for you.
뭔가
What does
저번
it mean to you?
시즌에서 제가 저번 시즌을 하면서 한 단계 좀 성장한
So since last
느낌이었다면
season,
이번 시즌에는 그 모습을
I think I've taken
보여드리는
another step
시즌이
forward.
됐으면 좋겠다고 생각을 했어요.
I think this
그래가지고
season
좀
might be the time for me
이번
to shine.
시즌이 좀 마지막일 수도 있다고 생각을 하는데
I've made a lot of
후회 없는
improvements.
게임
I've ironed
보여드리고
out
싶어요.
a lot of the
지난
faults in my
시즌에
phase.
성장했다면 이번에는 완성된 모습을
I'm gonna
보여주고
show the
싶다는
best
조일장
performance.
선수인데
He says it
박성균
might be his
선수
last
역시
season.
It might be his last
시즌
season, yeah, I
되는
heard
테란
that.
속에서
So,
정말 주목을 많이
might
받아온
have to
이번
do his military service
시즌이잖아요.
soon.
의미가 좀
So
크실 것
mine.
같아요.
You've been getting a lot of attention since you're one of the only two Terrans that's gotten this far in the tournament. What does Season 5 mean for you?
개인적으로 욕심이 있죠. 뭐 영원도 반대쪽에 있으니까 제가
Well, I
또
made it to the
올라가면은
quarterfinals.
그 테란끼리 또 만날 가능성이 생길 수도 있는 거고.
Flash is on the other side of the
개인적으로
bracket.
욕심이 좀 있어요.
두 선수 모두 이번 시즌 5에서 좀 가장
It would be
높은
pretty cool to
곳에
have two
본인의
Terrans
이름을
in the
올리고 싶은
finals.
마음이
Maybe that'll
남다르신 것
happen.
같은데 일단 행운의
Now,
여신은
imagine if that
조일장
happens,
선수에게 좀
Artosis. I
웃어주는
don't think I had
모습입니다.
factored that into my mind.
I'd be over the moon.
하도 저그전을 많이 해서 이번에는 좀 타종족전을 해보고 싶다라고 말씀을 하셨는데
네.
16강에서도
Hero, you've also mentioned
삼토스 그리고
in the
이번
last season,
8강에서도 테란전
you faced a lot
올라가면 또
of Zergs.
좋습니다.
And you were getting tired of facing
네,
Zergs.
좀 만족스러우세요?
I'm sure you're satisfied to be against a Terran, is
모르겠어요.
that correct?
사실 해봐야 알 것 같아요. 좀 맵이 좀 뭔가 스트레스 받더라고요. 게임하면 할수록 그래가지고 좀 저그전도 차라리 8강 때
I have
족충할
to look
때
and see what's going to
호구가 제일
happen.
낫지 않을까 생각했어요.
네.
I feel a little bit
아쉽게
uncomfortable on these
돼가지고.
maps.
근데 뭐
When we
맵으로
do the
게임하는 거
bracket
아니니까
draws.
저만 잘하면 올라갈 수 있다고 생각하고
I was hoping in this case to actually face Larva, a Zerg player.
좀 이렇게 어려운 듯한
Maybe I'm just
대답을
making
하시는 이유
excuses,
중에
though.
하나가 아무래도 이
against the unit, it's all
ASL에서
up to me.
테란전 오전제를 하셨을 때
네.
결승전을 포함해서 2번 모두 패배한 좀 아쉬운 기록을 갖고 계시잖아요.
네.
그래서 그러신 것 같은데 어떠세요? 테란전에 대한 이런
Whenever you have a best
좀
of 5
약하다는
match against
선입견
Terrans,
이번엔 좀
all 2
극복하실 수
matches you
있을까요?
lost.
와 모르겠어요. 이게 좀 이기는 모습을 보여드려야 되는데 또 상대가
A lot of people think
저그전
Hero's weak
잘해가지고.
against Terran in a
근데
best of 5
저는 뭐
match.
승패 뭐 그런 거 연연하지 않고 좀 제
Well,
자신에게 좀
I'm interested in showing a
경기를
pretty strong
하고
performance
싶다고
today, especially since mine is a very solid Terran player.
박성균 선수 역시
I'm not really sure what
이번에
kind of results we're
대국민
gonna have,
스타리그
but
포함해서
I'm
세
hopeful.
번째 ASL
네.
8강이신데요.
네.
2번 모두 4강 진출에는 실패하셨습니다.
네.
이번에는 좀 다르다는 걸 보여주셔야 할 것 같아요.
그렇죠. 아무래도 뭐
You made it to the
세 번째
quarterfinals
패랑이기도
in the
하고
past.
요즘 또
This is your third time here.
들어서 게임을 너무 이기고 싶더라고요. 오늘은 정말 이기고 싶다는 마음이 너무
They're talking about how he hasn't advanced further in the ASL
딴 몰라도 오늘은 이기고 싶어요.
than this phase.
두 선수
He
모두
says, yes, I'm
좀
really
스스로에게
hopeful.
좀
I really want to get to the
만족스러운 경기를 하고
semifinals.
싶다는 마음이 좀
I
돋보이는
haven't
것
felt this way
같습니다. 이
the
조일장
past.
선수 같은 경우에는
I'm hungry.
A조 경기를 가졌던 두 프로토스들이 다 좀 4강에서 박성균 선수를 만나고 싶어 하시더라고요.
예.
그 말은 조일장 선수가 떨어졌으면
previous two
하는 말도
Protosses
곧
mentioned
되거든요.
they-
서운하지 않으셨어요?
They want to meet
저도
Mind.
인터뷰 봤거든요. 근데 다들 그냥 떨어졌으면
Or do you think that's
좋겠다고
perhaps
얘기를
because
하는
they're
건지
afraid to
이미
face off against
떨어졌다고
you?
생각을 하는 건지 좀 그런 뉘앙스로
Yeah, I was a
얘기를
little bit
하더라고요.
confused about
그래가지고
that.
이 친구들
They think I'm already eliminated. They're talking about mine.
좀 4강 가서
So I don't know what to make of that.
한번 해보고 싶어요.
좀 혼내주고 싶은 마음이 드시나요?
Anyways, if I make it to the semifinals,
혼내준다 뭐 이런 건 아니지만 그래도
네.
I'm going to have some great CVP play to show those guys who's boss. She says, you want to punish him?
네, 박성균 선수는 또
Says, no, I
다른
just want to
의미에서
네.
좀
how
그런
my
정인준
CVP
선수와 뭐 김윤중 선수 인터뷰를 보면서 굉장히
네.
좀 화가 나셨을 것 같아요.
아니 뭐 이미 예상을 하고 있어서요. 네, 이제 그만 좀 물어봤으면 싶을 정도로
자꾸 맛있다 그러고
네.
그러니까,
You have a weird
네.
feeling when I look at your interviews.
예상을 하고 있어서
네.
They're going to say they're going to gobble you up, mine. They're going to
알고
beat
있어서
you
오히려
out
알고
in the
있어서 더 마음
semifinals.
편했어요. 네.
Says, yeah, I know that
박성균
those
선수는
two
이 질문 안 해볼 수 없을
um,
것 같아요.
네.
are
이기면 선물을
pretty
주겠다는
excited
꼭
if they can't face me. They've been
네.
teasing me a
이번
lot.
8강도 그런
So I want to ask this
분들이
question.
좀 많으셨나요?
There's always
없었던 것
fans.
모르겠어요.
굉장히 아쉬워하시는데,
이번에 그런
네.
얘기가
So that the
없었는데
fans are
네.
going to treat you if you advance
네,
with
알아서
gifts.
오셨으면 좋겠네. 많이 이기면.
아,
No.
만약에 이긴다면
네, 네.
네 알겠습니다.
If I advance,
자,
hopefully
이
there's
두
a lot of
선수가
fans that
서로
are going to tune
대진이
in my stream.
확정된
They know
후에
what to do.
이기는 사람이 결승에 가자라는 또 훈훈한 대화까지 나누는 걸 지켜봤는데요. 오늘 경기에 임하는 각오
So
나눌
whoever
것
makes
같습니다.
it today,
각오를 끝으로 인터뷰 마무리하겠습니다.
hopefully you guys can make it to the finals. Whoever wins here. Anything we start, anything you want to say?
좀 테란전에서 약하다는 모습 오늘 좀 다른 모습 보여드리고
Yes, I've been
싶고요.
preparing really, really hard.
열심히 하겠습니다.
I want to break that image tonight
박성균
against
선수?
Terran. I'm going to show some great games
오늘
today.
되게
And over to you, Mind. What do you have to
쉽지
say?
않은 그 5판 3선인데 딴 거 떠나서 그냥 이겼으면
So this is
좋겠어요.
a best of
게임이
5.
어떻게
It's not going to be
되든
easy.
이기기만
All I'm
했으면
thinking is
좋겠습니다. 네.
I want to win.
네, 두 선수의 각오까지 들어봤습니다. 두 선수 멋진 경기 기대하겠습니다. 고맙습니다.
All right, good luck to our two
고맙습니다.
players. That does it for our interview.
자,
And now,
8강 B조 경기를 앞두고 있는 두
back to
선수와
the
얘기
sit-downs.
나눠봤는데요. 이 두 선수가
All right.
최고의 경기력을 보여줄 수 있도록 여러분의
yeah.
아낌없는
That
응원과
interview
환호
went as
부탁드립니다.
expected.
지금까지 이현경이었습니다.
Now on to our series tasteless. Very excited about this one.
so again, this is a best of 5. Taking a look at the map lineup, we're going to have Third World first.
Yeah.
I feel like this is a map that Mind can really pull out some cool strategies on. Mind is a very cerebral player,
Yes.
and I think he's not the best macro player. I mean, he's not bad, but he's
clearly.
not. He's not.
Flash is the best macro player, so it's not mine.
Yeah, but I mean, even amongst the other Terrans that we've had,
Yeah,
I think that he's actually on the lower end. But I think strategically, he's completely brilliant. Now, Hero has an incredibly modernized Zerg style. He was saying that he struggles a little bit in ZVT, but I don't know if the past is going to be as representative of the present because the maps we're using are so abstract.
Yeah. So, by the way, guys, this is the set order as well. Set 1 and 5 will be on Third World, Transistor Set 2, Set 3 Sparkle, Set 4 Gladiator. This is the percentage that they have practiced in these maps in their sponsored online matches. So you can see that Sparkle has not been played that much by either side. In fact, it was banned by Mind. It is not very winnable for Terran vs. Surge, so that's going to be a very tough one. But you can see that a lot of practice all over the place. Apparently, Mind has a 90% win rate on Third World. We can see down there. So
That's pretty wild.
yeah, that's kind of interesting that he is doing that well on the map. And we saw a great game out of him against Ware in his group there. A very tight, very closely contested game. I actually felt like Ware should have even won that, but Mind was able to pull through. But yeah, that's really interesting too, because sometimes very brainy players, very cognitive players do better on some of these weird maps, especially island maps, because it's not about mechanics. It doesn't matter how many units you have if they're not in the right place.
Yeah, it's much more of a position game. StarCraft's always been a position game, but island maps bring it to the next level.
Now, this is the Facebook poll that was put up on the AfreecaTV site, and you can see that fans overall favor Hero here, but they favored Shuttle on Sunday. So really, the fans
don't
necessarily
have been wrong all the time.
But I think they're actually right here. I think it's a little bit hero favored this match. I do think he's going to come out and talk.
I'll be surprised if Mind wins this.
Well, if
I think Mind might take some games off of Hero, but I feel like if you get into any part of the game where Hero can get the macro engine of a Zerg player up, I think he's just going to swamp Mind out. He's going to have too much.
Yeah, generally speaking, I would agree with that, but these maps don't necessarily reward the macro as much in some ways, and if he can win Third World, if he's really that good on Third World, that's a big deal, right? That's the map that you get to play twice if you go to Game 5.
I got to point out as well, the modernized Zerg style we're really beginning to unpack on these maps. I mean, I don't want people to come into these looking at this and saying, oh, well, Terran has all these tricks, put us some of these tricks on island maps, and Zerg don't. I don't think that's necessarily the case. I think we're seeing some very, very creative styles here. Third World's kind of an odd map to describe in simple terms, but I think there's definitely some things that Zergs can do to exploit the fact that it's hard to access various areas of the map easily for any of the races.
Well, we'll see how this one goes, because Zerg on Third World, you're like basically always get a third gas for free, and it's pretty hard for Terran to stop that. So we've seen some 2-base all-inning coming out of Terran on this map. I've even seen a little bit of 1-base being tried out occasionally by people on the streams. One interesting thing I do want to point out is, everyone's stream recently, I feel like right before their match, for a day or two before their stream goes off. But previous to that, maybe, 4 days ago? About 4 days ago, I watched Last against Hero on stream, practicing TVZ, right? That's a great person to practice against, considering Flash is focusing on his PvP now. Last is going to be the next best thing to go up against Mind, right? But Last, the games I saw, he went like 7-0 against Hero. Like, he was bashing the nerd, but a lot of it was some cheeky Wraith play and stuff like that. Very technical, aggressive tech openings, which are popular right now, but I wonder if we'll see that out of Mind as well.
Interested to see that. That was one of the older openings that we saw in StarCraft, was a lot of these tech openings against Zerg. And they've really come back into style, using Wraiths a lot to try to come in there and take out Overlords and dictate the pace, make Zerg really react earlier than they generally would want to.
Well, the new 1-1-1 style that Flash has really kind of refined. Super strong against Zerg. We'll see if Mind can pull that off here.
Turn around.
Okay, so we have Hero in the bottom left. We've got Mind in the upper right.
Yeah.
And
so
let's see what exactly Mind's going to do, because I feel like that's the first question we got to ask. What build order is he going to do? Is he going to do the 1-1-1 like what you were saying, Artosis? I was wondering if he might do something with like possibly a factory in the map, in the middle of the map, or starports out there. I feel like there are some of those weird styles that might be viable here, and Mind, I think, is someone who's more prone to do that style of play.
Okay. Well,
or is it going to be something much more middle of the road?
Well, let me give you my opinion on TVZ on this map. So Third World, a lot of fans out there today. Some great signs. Look at that, a Cobra and a bear. The Cobra, I'm sure, is the Zerg player, and the crying bear is mine. Anyways, in my opinion here, right, I think you have to open tech, because you have to hit a timing push against Zerg. You could try like 1-base shenanigans with your tech, sure, absolutely. Anyone can always do something like that. But overall, like, because Zerg can get their third base basically for free, if you try something like a more standard barracks-based opening and you don't bust them, you're just in too much trouble at that point.
We have some hopes that Hero goes Queens this time around.
Well, I don't think we'll be seeing that.
Maybe
in this
not
map,
on this map, but on the island maps, we've definitely seen some stuff like that.
Queens are pretty good on Sparkle. But yeah, so back to what I was saying, right? Like, you have to tech, because you have to push and do critical damage to Zerg almost immediately. Because if you don't, right? There's some, like, for instance, let's talk about 5 barracks +1, which is the most popular marine-based opening in the matchup. Well, that's popular on ground maps, like the Fighting Spear, everyone knows that, right? The third base, there's some tension there. You can pressure it, you can threaten it. The Zerg has to make a lot of units to make sure that you can't just go kill the third base. Here, it's not the case. You defend your natural, bam, it's done. You already have a third base up as quickly as you want it. You drone it as much as you want, right?
Oh my God!
Wow, that's
the
pretty
SCV got
sick.
picked off. That's very unusual.
But yeah, so that kind of makes you go into a tech-based opening here, and then it just kind of comes down to, okay, what is Zerg doing? Like, for instance, look, he's even scouting for any flying in proxies or anything, so he knows that some cheekiness can occur here. But oh, he hides his third hatch.
This is cool.
That is cool.
And of course, you can hide tech there as well. I mean, unlike in StarCraft 2, you can just spray creep everywhere. You have to have a hatchery or a creep colony. Jason do a hatchery to get creep out there. So maybe he's going to put something there, and then Terran tries to scan. He doesn't see the immediate tech Spire and or Lurker Den.
And the gas,
Hydra Den, excuse me.
The gas will be done as well. If the SCV does not see this hatchery, then he can get the SCV out of his base before it does see the hatchery. That can change the entire game, because when you go 1-1-1 against a 3-hatch play, you go up to vessels very quickly. Okay, and he's actually blocking it. So it's hard for mine to tell. He can't know right now if it's 3-hatch or 2-hatch. But just back on point for a second, if you're playing against a 3-hatchery play, you generally go up into science vessels quickly because you have time to get into radiate and everything. If you're playing against a 2-hatchery play, you go into cloaked wraith. So
he didn't get layer. He's going for a Hydra Den, 3-hatch Hydra Den.
Yeah.
I had to do a double take there. Now, I was assuming that we would have, since the drone blocked the ramp, that Terran's not going to scan the top of the main. No, that's just not a thing. You need to probably scan the main since the SV is scouting this to look for the tech. Now, interestingly enough, this is going to start pick up before the Terran really has much time at all to defend. So this is a very unorthodox, very crazy, aggressive build from Hero that may just kill Terran before Terran can really brace for impact.
It will kill Terran. If you look at these builds, it's so hard to imagine Mind holding on here. He did not get an add-on on his factory. In fact, he blindly went into 2 starports because it is so popular for Zergs to go Mutalisks on this map because they can defend everything. So he's kind of blind countering the current metagame from Zerg here. But what Hero's doing is blind countering the blind counter.
Now he's going to see those Hydras. Now, seeing 4 might not be enough information. Like 4, he might say, okay, it could be, because they can get 4 Lurkers on 3 hatches. Is that correct? If you're going 3-hatch layer?
Yeah, you could.
You could, right?
I think here, if you see 4 Hydras at this time, and the Hydralisk Den isn't in the front of your base.
This is the oh crap moment.
This is the oh crap moment. You might even lift off and go into your main base. Okay, he's trying to get the bunker up. It looks like it will finish. He's definitely going to lose a decent amount of SCVs here. He's got a mass repair.
Okay, the Wraith is going to come down here. He's going to be careful because the Hydras can kill the Wraith so fast. It'll make the Terran's head spin. Now, SCVs are already here. Keep in mind, guys, that when Zerg does this, they're not developing the way a Zerg normally would. Normally, Zergs try to rush up to layers. Ooh. So if this doesn't do any damage, and I don't think it actually now is, there's no more Hydras reinforcing here.
Yeah, that's kind of interesting. I thought he was going to just go completely all in with it, but
that's what I was looking at and including as well. Now, the fact that Terran teched up like this, I guess means a counter push isn't available right away for mine.
No.
If I'm not mistaken. This is, I'm sort of out of my depth in this matchup because this is already very abstract TVZ.
He's focused so heavily on anti-Mutalisk play that he's completely caught off guard. Like, again, he was literally blind countering. You don't really want to go Wraith against this. You can technically, because the Wraiths are very microable, you can kind of get some things done, but it's probably not your best option. So I would say that overall, as far as Mind games go, and the thing is, I thought he was going to go all in there. You saw Mind, he pulled a bunch of SCVs. They were just sitting behind the bunker, but didn't really need them. There's not that many Hydras as of yet. Hero's kind of going into a macro game from here.
You know what's interesting about this Artosis? I wonder if this was never intended to actually be some kind of all-in thing. It's like I think he just wanted to freak the Terran out enough and then he can actually set up a third base and really have a robust economy like this. It's kind of like some of these builds where the Zerg make exactly enough Hydras to freak the Protoss out.
Yeah.
And the Protoss makes a bunch of cannons.
Yeah.
And then Zerg gets ahead in that way. I'm not sure, because this is actually a really interesting strategy for me to unpack, but this is cool.
Well, now he's going to tank drop the ledge, right? And the Hydras, I mean, I don't know the exact, like, I guess they can walk around and get hits on the siege tanks, but 2 of them sieged up, especially if he drops Marines up there. That's some serious damage. But there's a Spire on the way as well.
This is the way in the early days of StarCraft, Zergs would lose on the map Lost Temple.
Or any map with a ledge over
Any map with a ledge, yeah. So this is very interesting because it's playing out in a somewhat of like an old school victory if Mind actually pulls this off. Now, even though the hatchery is taking damage and the drone's been pulled, there's still time for Mind to try to take this out. Or I'm sorry, for Hero to try to take this out.
Yeah, if he can kill all of this off, he'll be in pretty good shape. Notice there, he did get Cloak still for the Wraiths, so still has a bit of that anti-air weapon.
Okay, if he gets the tanks here, then the hatchery's going to stay alive for a little bit longer. The Hydras are going to rush up. He's going to try to just burst damage down the tank, and he does it. Okay, so this hatch is not going to go down unless Terran can pull off a miracle.
Yeah.
Which means, honestly, I actually still like Hero's position right now.
Yeah.
Even though Hero's not mining from this base right now, this has been cleaned up, and the tank count was reset, the Marine count was reset. I don't think that Mind can push for some time now.
Well, this was not like a overly smooth opening from Mind, unfortunately, right? Like he wanted to open against Mutas and then, have his push, but now he's kind of been jerked all over the place. He opened up with the race. They didn't do anything. He got like 1 Overlord and scouted some, right?
You know what?
And now he's gone into a tank drop that didn't do anything, and now he's like making barracks, and already Hive is up for Hero.
When you're against a Zerg player like Hero, if you make a couple attacks like this that don't work, Zerg is growing at an exponential rate. It gets pretty scary. Now I wonder if we could go back in time, if Mind could actually have taken that hatchery out, because I don't believe he was he always hitting the hatchery the moment he lands there?
Well, no, he took out the Sunken, he killed a Hydra, he killed some drones,
I think there was a better way to go about it.
If he had targeted immediately upon the Sunken, then immediately on the hatchery, and just right-clicked the whole time, I think maybe he kills it. But the thing is, there is some counter micro there where you bring up the Hydras, then you have to attack the Hydras, or the Hydras kill the tanks. But there is a pot. Maybe if he was very decisive, he could have gotten the hatch.
By the way, this Wraith play is pretty impressive here. Mine doubled down on the Wraiths and ended up winning in a lot of these fights. Now, you can micro Wraiths, by the way, the same way you can micro Mutalisks. And Mind is showing that right here. The mobility, he's actually done a ton of damage.
Yeah, quite a bit. He's picked off a ton of drones. He hasn't up to 1 shot at this point. Looks like the push is finally going to come out. Not even a medic with that army as of this moment.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow, and he adds 1 Valkyrie here.
Yeah. Well, he does need some anti-Mutalisk. A lot of the times what you play against on this map is actually mass Muta. And in fact, his game against Ware was crazy, like mass Muta Scourge into Guardians. And I thought it was just a fantastic play, but Mind was able to push through with a push that looked a lot like this. Now some Lurkers on the way, Hydras as well.
This is quite a bottleneck here.
Yeah.
When the Terran siege is up, the Sunken colonies are in the way. Oh, wow, he's actually just going to go for it. Yeah. Is this enough? No medics here. Again, cannot emphasize that enough.
If he doesn't have a medic on the way down, I'd be pretty surprised at this point. But this is enough units that he should be able to break through. If the Lurkers could ever come up to fight.
Okay, the Lurkers burrow. No skin just yet. And if he gets that tank, it's just going to be bio out here. He does. Ugh.
Yeah, this is just getting very dirty right now for Mind because he's lost a ton of units so far.
They're the medics.
Hey, there's the medics, yeah.
Hi, guys.
Hey, we're here. Hey, this is kind of nice, though. Might actually end up doing some reasonable damage up there. There's not that many flying units.
Thing is, if Zerg fends this off effectively, I don't think that we're going to see... Darkstorm is a good spell.
It certainly is. Okay, so I want to talk about overall strategically what's happened here, because this is actually something I wanted to talk about as soon as we got the map, and we can see that Hero really... Well, let me talk about it first. But, okay, so basically the way that Mind opened is because this map is shaped in such a way that Zergs can play unbelievably abusively. You try to counter-abuse that with an opening like what Mine did. He did a very anti-Mutalisk opening because Zergs just take the map and go mass mutas, right? But the amount that Hero has played around that, playing a normal game, you're going like Wraiths and Valkyries, and your opponent is going for ground units, you're dead, man. Like, you're not dead. I mean, there's always comeback potential, but the position is not good.
Oh, this is sick. Oh, only 2 links get out. That's
what
huge.
A move. There's only like 2 mutas on the map, too.
Yeah, no, he is actually going to
kill it.
How crazy is this? Now, this was the one, I didn't see this coming, by the way. But this was probably the only way that Terran could have began the comeback. Now, Dark Swarm pushes are still a real threat, and Terran has not really grown that much on the map.
He needs to get out in front immediately.
Okay, so the counterattack here by Hero. Hero basically scrambling. With this base taken out, Hero can't operate on 2 bases for that long. I really like how Mind is pushing out on the map because he needs to start fighting and get the Dark Swarm set up here and not over by his base. Okay, so far so good.
I gotta tell you, man, I am so impressed with how Mind's been playing this game so far, and Hero as well. Hero pushing up with the Dark Swarm. Does he have another? Yes, he has another Defiler up here.
He needs to get those vessels out.
Oh my God.
He should have one more. Does he have one more already?
He shouldn't have one quite yet.
Okay, so.
Two more vessels. He might have one very shortly then. Those probably just popped out, so give him another 10 seconds.
It just takes one Defiler, and you can push into a Terran space with the minimum. Okay, Firebat's coming out here now. Now, the Firebats can combat the Lurkers, although not very well.
No, only their splash does damage underneath there, so it's very difficult. Gotta keep those vessels alive as well.
Stay back!
Oh my God, the Dark Storm's going right up into the natural. You gotta run your SCVs at this point.
Man.
Oh, he actually fills the bunker with Firebats. A beautiful move.
Very interesting moment where the Firebats are hitting the Lurker from the bunker.
Yeah, this is not something you see every day, that's for sure. And in fact, that is far enough away that only the actual Firebat attack is hitting it. This, I've never
seen this in my whole life.
I have never seen this before, but I knew it could happen. The Firebat, its actual attack from the bunker was hitting that Lurker, but none of the splash area was hitting it, so it was not actually doing damage.
It looked very funny.
Yes. Wow.
So it was just out of range.
Oh my God.
Mind is stabilized. Hero is expanding in 2 locations.
This is such an awesome game. This is such an awesome game. This is why we need Terran players in tournaments, Tasteless. Oh my God. This is so sick. They're both geniuses.
If you rewind this game and go back to all the little skirmishes that happens, this has been a pretty wild set for just game 1. Now Terran's going to push out. I think it's possible for Mind to assert himself at the bottom right. Now, because the Zerg is actually not that big, if you keep adding Firebats in here, you can kind of fight the Zergs on Dark Swarm.
Yeah, it's such a funny, weird situation because he's only in 2 gas. There's not that many Lurkers.
And here's the other thing as well, is that there's, exactly, Zerg on 2 bases can't grow quite fast enough. Okay, here we go. Now this is a pretty scary amount. Oh!
So few Marines here, you couldn't even gun down the Scourge.
Yeah.
Oh, a sick
Now they all
play,
look like Firebats. Look at that.
We are even more Firebat.
That's a new technique, is you have no idea if they're Marines or Firebats. So, interestingly enough, though, Mind did not scout this bottom right location, which it seems like it would be fairly obvious that that's something you want to look for.
I haven't seen any Zergs take that yet, but like, yeah, I mean,
you gotta check it, especially when you take out that base just above the main.
Yeah, and look, this whole situation, this is such an insane game that we're watching right now. Like, so many weird things have happened. Nothing about this is standard meta. Like, both of them have tricked each other countless times here. So it's like hard to say exactly how everything's going to go down. Oh my God, he actually gets out almost everything. But with the amount of Firebats he has, like, a lot of crazy things can happen. Your Lings are such a big part of this type of Lurker-Ling Defiler push. So these Firebats are, look at that. It's like, what's that army right there? The army of mine that's coming down kills that easy.
It's coming down there. There's one Nidus set up.
Oh, there's a scan! Yeah, well. Once there's no scan and the Firebat dies, no longer do you kill it easily, but still. Lift it off.
Now, Mind cannot easily get a third base up. Now that that's been taken out, Terran can last a surprisingly long amount of time on 2 bases, but it's an inevitability that you need to get a third.
Yeah, indeed. I think he is building a command center down at the bottom right, so that might be how he ends up scouting that base as well. Oh, a lot of fire bats coming up here right now. Catching a lot of lings here as well. He's stimming forward. Oh, the lurker that burrowed on the ramp, actually. Okay, he does get the scan off.
He's going to get this base, it looks like.
Dude, these fire bats
There's
are
still
hero.
a mounting push over here at the bottom. Okay, got some mines down there. What an interesting
This is the
game.
craziest game ever, Tasteless.
Okay, so this base, we have to assume that bottom right base is going to go down.
Yeah, that's just going to kill
gonna,
instantly, whatever he says there.
This is a game where nobody can really get as big as they want to be.
Okay, so he's going to send his vultures down there to clear it out, I guess. Still, it'll take a while for the creep to go back, so Mine's still going to have a hard time getting his economy as big as he wants it. And then the Dark Storm came. Dropships all over the place right now. Oh my God!
Getting the Nidus?
The Nidus from the high ground dropping into the low ground, and there's like no units on the low ground again.
I think that Hero's low enough on kind of everything that these stiff armies are just too hard to fight. He gets the Ultra Tech out. The Ultras are probably the worst thing to have in this situation with all these units on the low ground. We see a drop coming up here.
Okay, so he finally has his Overlord drop, so that's definitely going to help in these situations. Trying to take down this hatchery. In fact, look at where he's dropping the Marines here.
Yeah.
The Ultras can't get back there. Oh my God!
Oh my God!
Oh my God! So many drones falling down.
Oh man, how do you get rid of that? He has to get a lurker over there. That's the only way he kills.
Look at those 2 Marines on the low ground, behind the minerals.
Yeah, you can't get back there.
I think Zerglings can, though. Can they not?
So. No, I don't think they can. I think you can drop in there if there's enough
They might not be able to. If the Marines are taking up all the ground, okay, they can. Darn. That would have been so sick, though. Imagine if they couldn't.
Yeah.
That just becomes broken. You have to go Hydra on this map suddenly to stop that.
That's because we call it Terran porn right there. This has just been a fantastic series. Again, Hero limping through economically, but Mine does eventually have to get a third base. Now, building up the science vessel count like we're seeing is one very easy way in a low econ TVZ that Terran can close. You could just keep irradiating, and Zerg just never gets to where they need to be, and we're seeing that now.
You know, this is, I love how this is approached by both sides. I know I keep saying that, but like the fact that he's kind of defending this area like this, oh my God, the Eraser actually targets down one of those vessels pretty quickly, but still a lot of drones going down. But look, okay, so he's got a ton of Sunkens. He's got his lurkers in there. He's got some Defilers popping out, but then he's also got an ultra-spaced army coming around.
So this is, in case you guys have not seen this technique used, the mechanical units don't take damage from a radiant, but you can still cast a spell. So you cast it on your own vessels and just run them over there.
And a nice defense matrix there on the Marine, really helping out.
Yep, good positioning
here
over on the bridge.
Rest of these.
You want those medics to kind of get in the way. I'm sorry, did those vessels get killed? Is that what happened there?
Well, that would be brutal, but you know what? I bet you're right. Those were kind of overstaying their welcome, weren't they?
Now, Mine needs to be careful not to be spread too thin out here.
Yeah.
Also, you got to be careful with this too. When you irradiate the Ultras, don't have your Marines there because irradiate just does so much damage to the infantry as well.
It's a buff to the Ultra.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. The amount of time it takes for the Ultra to die. And the number of irradiates as well.
He's added in some siege tanks and stuff. Ooh. Like, he must have 2 facts. I'm not sure, actually. I'm not 100% sure how many factories he has right now.
I don't think he has 2 starports.
He has 2 starports
for
sure because he opened with
the Wraith. I'm sorry.
The game's been so crazy. I forgive you for
this is not a.
But okay, so just kind of setting up a defense here. This defense is going to be a lot stronger against things like Dark Storm pushes because of the splash, everything. Oh God. And then the Dark Storm gets up over the tank. But yeah, Mind has to hold on to this position for sure. Hero's starting to take more on the left-hand side of the map. We see new hatchery there and another new hatchery for him. But there is a drop from Mind going in there. Doesn't look like he'll get anything done due to the Ultra. Yeah, just trying to target down anything he can get at this point.
Okay, this has just been handled so, you know what's crazy? They've both been playing so well. Like the fact that Hero is still growing on the map.
The fact that Mind is alive in this game, he's killed the Nidus multiple times at the top, and like that like ninja move where he actually killed that base when all seemed lost. I mean, this is a great.
Hero now is up to 5 bases. Yeah. Just now got him up, and Mind is just on this 1 base in the bottom right, and that is very pushable, by the way, from a macro Zerg like Hero. Absolutely, can you Dark Swarm push your way down there? And if you take that out, then Mind is basically broke, and will lose this game anyways, despite all the great play.
Yeah, he's starting to lose a lot of value too in these vessels. Like, he's lost a ton of vessels so far this game, and he is kind of on an SK-ish style of Terran. He really does need that vessel count to continue to grow if he's to win this game. His building placement actually
surprisingly good.
It's funny because it's like, you look at it, it's ugly, and it's like theoretically maybe not great, but I guess against an ultra drop and stuff, it's pretty alright.
Yeah. The Marines have some good angles they can kind of try to avoid the ultra. Another push comes down here. Is this base going to go down once again? Just needs to get that Ultralisk. Can't let that Ultra get inside the Dark Swarm! Oh, he needs to back up still, though. Now, do we have confirmation that Mind knows about the upper left base? Because that's an extra gas geyser that is definitely feeding into how strong Heroes become in this game.
Yeah, I don't know if he's actually seen it yet or not. I don't know if it'll matter. That one Ultralisk is probably going to kill him that's in his base. I think I had 15 kills last time we saw it. The SCVs have to run from this location again. I'd love to see a Queen. A Queen would actually steal that CC immediately.
Now, there's also the looming threat of Terran actually just breaking this location. It's not going to be easy with Dark Swarm available, but if Terran can continue to irradiate and get the Dark Swarm rotation staggered where there's just an opening, this army can just stim and run in.
Yeah.
You know, and then if you get to
the
main,
Sunkens don't do much at this point.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's going to be hard, but it's definitely something to keep an eye out for. Okay, we have another drop, I believe, in the upper left. Here we go.
Ooh, this is such an important moment here. If he can do some critical damage to this base, looks like he'll kill a decent amount of drones. His group of Lings, a really big group of Lings is coming up, so I think he will clear this. Wait, what?
He's right-clicking down the hatchery.
What upgrades are his Marines on? Is he on 3-2 yet?
I have no idea.
Like, he clicked on, the observer clicked on Marine for like 2 seconds. Or less.
What are the Zerg's upgrades right now? 3 armor?
Yeah, he's got at least +1 melee, and he's got 3 armor. Okay, 3-2, yeah, that's what I was thinking. They feel like 3-2 Marines gunning down these things, huh?
Yeah, well, you can see that they can actually sustain a little bit in a fight.
What'd you say? Sustain?
Yeah, I'm sorry, those are StarCraft 1 Marines, you're right. Is there an opening? I don't know how much energy that Defiler has. I love how Mind's gone back to Firebats to try to hold these locations. The problem is, Firebats are not great against Ultralisks.
Oh no, they're pretty bad.
You would think that they would be, right? Like, you know, going head to head, but they actually are horrible.
Yeah.
Now hold on, this is what I was talking about. Can he actually push in here?
Oh, the medic wall is out of control! It's out of control! That Ultra couldn't do anything!
Yeah, and I don't even know if there's going to be enough Dark Swarms. He goes for a Plague instead.
Ooh.
There it is.
Yeah, covers everything up, running back through his own minefield now.
Another drop here. Mind is an animal coming down once again, hitting so many locations. I'm curious when Mind is going to mine out that bottom right base, by the way.
He's still got a good amount of minerals on there. He hasn't been down there that long, but everything else is dry.
This is huge. This base goes down in the upper left. Remember, that hatchery was badly bruised.
Ooh.
Like, if he could just slip in there, he takes that out. And it's really hitting the reset button. Even though there's been so many attacks over in that third base that Hero had, I think he's eventually going to mine that out as well.
I gotta say, this is just madness, and it's too bad that Mind's economy is just so low. It feels like he should be able to snipe that top left hatchery. There's almost nothing there, but Mind is having a hard time affording anything at this point. He's got 1 mining base in that bottom right. And how many patches are there? 6 in the bottom right base? I actually haven't paid a lot of attention there because it's not been a big part of any game.
Yeah, it's not usually a focal point in a match here.
Yeah.
I don't believe it's a lot. It's not 8, I don't think.
Yeah, I think it's a 6-patch one, so not really that big of an economy. But now he's trying to ferry all of his units over.
Well, right now, Mind has to actually commit an army to this location because it's so easy for Hero. Basically, Hero has always had the upper left island of the map.
Yeah.
I mean, that's always been Mind's, it's never been Mind's turf. And it's very easy for him with his expansion and his hatcheries there to get that over there. And because of the production facilities and where they are right now on the map, Mind just can't get an army easily over here. And Mind will lose this game if he doesn't start to take bases on this side of the map. I mean, that's what Hero's banking on. Hero's not trying to take out the bottom right.
These Ultras are just destroying everything in their path. It is so painful. All right, he clears that, but look at this next army coming up. A good amount of Zerglings. Okay, he's going to drop some Fire Bats and Medics down there. That's super important. They need to get down there now. Oh, God, but the Defiler's coming in. One Plague on this army, and I think Hero can basically seal off this base for the rest of the game.
Well, yeah, all Hero has to do is try to control the upper left. Well, I guess, how do we refer to this, Artos? It's just the island portion of the map. If he can control that, then he wins the game.
Mind, it might be time to just float your barracks down here, buddy.
I agree. I think at this point in time, because he has to contain on the bottom bottleneck area of the map, Zerg has not been able to dominate there. He needs to actually move his barracks over here.
It's so painful. The Ultra will kill everything you've ever made under here. Oh, God, here comes a Plague. Run.
Oh, man. Again, the drop slowed down when Mind was trying to take this base, and I think because of that, Hero still had enough of a macro engine that he was able to produce an army that can't be contested now. I think this game is slowly going to Hero.
Yeah, well, Hero definitely has a big advantage right now, I would say. Oh, that's painful as well, those Medics dying off. But it's like, it's just so hard for him to secure a base on this side. It's so difficult because the Defiler just comes up and ruins your day with these Marines. He's lost a ton of vessels this game, though. That's a big, big part of this. Like, if we had a units lost tab like in StarCraft 2, I think we'd see that he's lost 10, 12 vessels.
Ooh, great Plague over there. Bouncing Mind's army back. Another drop over here. Now, again, this was the hatchery that had taken some damage. There's a lot of drones over here. I don't see any army inbound to try to save this.
Yeah, he's going to kill quite a few drones, and the hatchery should go down as well.
So right now, this is the most important expansion for Zerg, the one in the lower center.
Oh, not the right time for Minds to dud right there. The Fire Bats come down, but Fire Bats against Ultras, not too fun. Only 2 Ultras left, though. Does run away.
Okay, so this hatchery's been destroyed. I believe Zerg's third is almost mined out. Should be dried up, but here's the real story. In the bottom right, this base is going to be...
Oh, man. Seriously, a lot of vessels have died this game.
Yeah, and it was 6 patches, you were right.
Yeah, and the patches are all over 2/3 gone now, so we are really running low on Mind's economy.
And the fact that Hero has so much gas, look at this.
Wow.
Yeah, he has enough gas. It doesn't matter if that's not the most cost-effective way to do it, because...
God forbid you make a queen, right?
Oh, yeah.
God forbid you have any style in your play.
That guy with the sign was right. We should have had a queen come in here and just
he
take
was
that
so right. He was the rightest he's ever been.
So,
good job, guy with the sign.
I think this game is going to slowly dry up for Terran. He has a few drops he's trying to pull off.
You got your command centers you can obviously float over at this point, but it's like he's trying so hard to get anything done, but what is there to do with his small unit count? He has almost no vessels to really gain value with, and like just straight up the army of his opponent beats him, and then of course a tiny portion of his army beats him with the Defiler there. Okay, this has been just a wild game though. Oh my God.
Yeah, this is
the 2 Marines.
We're at the half-hour marker this time around, and really Hero played the map. I think Mind did his best, but there was a finish line he had to cross in this game, and if he was going to win it, and Hero
his legs gave out, man.
Yeah, if Hero knew that if he just kept control of the island section, that Mind eventually it does not have any domination on the side of the map where all the remaining resources are at.
The Ultras come down with Dark Swarms, 2 of them, ouch. And this is the last attack from Mind. He's got his medics in front, so his army will do slightly better than it should, but still shouldn't be enough here to break through.
StarCraft 1 Ultras are pretty impressive. They can really dish out a beating.
Fire Bats do basically nothing to Ultras.
GG, game 1 goes to Hero, but what a game that was.
That was That was one of the best
phenomenal.
games of the season. That was
an
insane game. And I got to tell you, I'm so impressed with both sides. This doesn't at all mean that Hero's going to take the series because I think he way out metagame, way out strategized Mind for the first 15 minutes or something. It was crazy. Like, I thought Hero was doing this. I was calling Mind dead, basically, and then Mind's like, nope, killed your base, 2 base versus 2 base, let's keep going. And, like, if somehow he could have kept his vessels alive a little bit better, he could have pulled that game out for sure. So this is a good series we have on our hands here tonight.
Imagine had that hatchery been gunned down by the tanks.
Oh yeah,
I mean that would have been huge. Imagine that a few of those drops.
I forgot that even happened.
I know. Well, this game started out weird and got crazy, and ended in a really brilliant fashion. With all the little fights that we had, it was the big picture play that won it for Hero. Again, this is a best of 5. The winner is going to move on to the Final 4, face off against Rain.
Yeah,
wow.
And that's not an easy round of 4 either, but
no.
Rain would prefer to play against Mind, he's already said. Hero, a very scary macro player.
We're going to a break. We come back, game number 2 in tonight's ASL.
I'm getting back my old ambitions.
자, 오른쪽에 지금 포즈가 올라가고 있는 상황이고.
네. 빠른 넥서스.
네.
아주 미묘한 차이밖에 없었거든요. 계속
이제
건물의 그
막히네요.
순서의 차이밖에 없었는데
어느 정도
들어오나
때려.
들어오나.
자 프로브가 자 빠지는 것을
자 아래쪽에다가.
발캐.
이거 많이.
와 13킬. 자 이번 싸움에서 만약에 뭐 5대5 싸움만 하게 된다면 정인용 선수가 웃을 수 있습니다.
그렇습니다.
자, 선수 소규모 병력들이 돌아오면서 여기서
자, 아래쪽에
신경전
하이템플로.
펼치고.
먼저 맞고 시작했어요 김민중 선수는.
그렇습니다.
스톱 들어갔습니다.
네, 따라 내려오면서 지금은 또 사이닉 스톰을 사용을 했는데 결국
네.
위에서 아래쪽으로 내려오는 어떤 그 유닛들의 전투 성과가 조금 더 나은 것이 사실이기 때문에 계속 꾸준하게 지금 본진화 쪽에다가 병력을 보내면서 생산된 병력을 일단은 묶어놓는데 성공을 했고 정인종 선수 입장에서는 소모전 하자, 계속 바꿔주자 이런 생각인 것 같아요. 싸워보면 나랑 자원이 좀 비슷하고 오히려 프로브를 자신이 잡고 시작을 했는데 물량이 엄청 많거든요.
게다가 이 언더 지역까지 올라왔다는 걸 보면서 이게 뭐야 싶을 겁니다.
하이템플로 엄청 많습니다.
와, 이 생산된 뭐지?
예.
도대체 뭐라는 거지? 아웃이 몰래 멀티한 거죠. 자, 밀고 들어오는 상황에서 왼쪽 스톰 뿌려주고 지금 맞으면서 내려와요.
예, 왼쪽에서 스톰을 조금 많이 맞기는 했습니다. 그리고 본진으로 뛰는 병력.
예, 거의 이건 견제용 병력이었고요.
양쪽으로.
바람잡이.
예.
악한
공격으로 해서 멀티 취소하게 만들었어요.
그렇습니다.
김민중 선수는 자원차가 이렇게까지 많이 날 거라는 생각은 아예 못할 것이거든요. 그냥 와 이거 뭐 왜 이렇게 잘해? 와 이 정인용 왜 이렇게 잘하냐? 뭐 이런 생각밖에 없을 것 같아요 지금.
그렇죠. 뭔가 위화감이 들기 시작을 했을 것 같거든요.
이거 오면 뭐야 이거 얼마나 먹은 거야 싶은 겁니다.
얼마나 먹은 거야 이거.
이걸 다 먹었다고.
찔러 한 부대 본진 안쪽으로 지금은 찔러 넣으면서 추가 확장을 지금은 하고 있는 상황이고.
여기 지켜야 되거든요.
예,
자원줄.
안 보이는 데다가 무조건 지금은 사이닉 스톰 쓰면서
이게 유닛들이
뭐
제대로 들어가질 못해요.
세시필드가 거의 뭐 역장을 만들어 놓고
적당히 넥서스 정도만 깬 상태로 이 전투를 중단시켜도 되는 정인종이고요.
여기서 넥서스만 지금
확장만
위쪽에
깨면 되잖아요.
네.
정윤준 이 정파이 프로토스 우리 경기에서는 반짝이 작전을 들고 나서 김민중 선수를 쓰러뜨리네요.
그러면서 본인은 로보틱스를 굉장히 빨리 올리는 식의 빌드를 선택했습니다. 빠지면서 또 셔틀을 통해서 이득을 보겠다라는 거고.
네, 정면에서 일단은 노크하는 거예요. 현관문으로 나와라라고.
그렇죠. 이리 와인데 자 유닛들이 자 드라곤 두기 일찍 빠졌습니다 이거.
자 이거 리버가 주방으로 잘 들어갔어요. 자 이거 한 방으로. 자 그래도
다시 한번
이거 프로브가
자 16.
네 늦게 빠졌기 때문에
세게 박아버린대요.
태클을 빨리 올린 보람이 있습니다.
그렇죠. 이 노사파가 먼저 올렸거든요.
네.
여기서 세월이 맞이하는데 일꾼이요.
자 일꾼 스캐러. 그러면 가야죠.
스캐럽의 유산.
리버 안으로 그냥 경기를 끝내버렸어요.
스캐럽의 유산. 열고 있어요.
야, 이
돌립니다.
길목이 진짜 외나무 다리예요.
네.
이 좋은 길목으로 두들겨 맞으면서 어떻게 들어갑니까?
눌러놓고
예.
상대가 어차피 못 올라올 게 분명하니까 아이고!
터졌어요. 희망이 사라집니다.
게다가 이게 급하게 끝내야 되는 정인종 선수 입장인지라 자 수비가 조금은 비어있을
내립니다.
것을 노려서
네.
다시 한번
예, 정말 프로브 학살자의 그 면모를 여기서 리버가 좀 보여주고 있거든요.
그렇습니다.
드라군을 잡았어요.
드라군을
자, 질럿들
네,
붙여놓고 리버 컨트롤로
진짜
GG!
셔틀 리버 컨트롤러 두 번째 경기 완벽할 수 있다는 김윤중 선수예요.
빠른 아둔 꺼내듭니다 정인종.
원게이트 로보틱스가 아니라
슬쩍 보일 것 같은
어카이브 가죠.
템플러 카이브거든요. 병력이 나와 있다가 먼저 두들겨 맞고 이러면은
렉이에요.
집에 못 돌아가요.
이게
네, 지금은 드라군을 끌면서 바깥쪽으로 빼내고 그 다음에 다크 템플러가 생산된 걸로 본진에 다이렉트 직진. 예, 이렇게 지금은 할 수 있는 상황이긴 합니다.
자 유인
옵저 버터리 없죠?
예.
네. 이제 로보틱스 서포트 베이가 올라가고 있는 상황인데 이 드래곤 잡는다고 행복해할 때가 아닌 것 같습니다.
예.
드래곤 3기 때문에 어그로가 끌리면서 로보틱스 이후에 리버를 생산하기 위한 방법이었는데 자 이제 봤죠? 이제 봤어요.
그럼 길막.
네, 빨리 옵저 버터리 지어서 완성시켜야 되는데 들어갔어요.
야 이거 문을 열어줬는데요.
이게 왜 셔틀입니까?
자 설립니다.
네.
5.5터리 옆에 지어주고 있거든요.
그렇죠. 옵저버 터리는 일단 지어지고 있는데 지나가면서 옵저버 생산되는 시간 동안에 원다크로
와 이게 몇
7킬 이상 최소
8킬,
15킬 정도
9킬.
가능할 수 있는 타이밍입니다.
자 채취도 안 돼요.
이게 욕심을
숨어 있으면 숨어 있으면 됩니다.
거기서 또 다른 태클 리버 태클을 바로 타버리는 바람에
그렇죠.
자원이 없기 때문에 여기서
15킬
터져나가죠.
이제 옵저버 나오거든요. 이제 옵저버가 나와도 이미 프로브의 손해가 많고
자 내려가서 할 수 있는 거.
네.
자 여기서 갖추고 있는 거 이거
바로 내려가요. 여기
자 일단 전병력 출동
네.
이렇게 갈 수밖에 없는 입장이라서
그렇죠.
그걸 노리는 겁니다.
여기
자
이제 여기
네.
리버까지 동원하고 들어가서 데미지를 입힐 생각을 하고 있는 김윤중이에요.
시야를 밝혀놓은 상태에서 셔틀만 셔틀이 좀 많이 맞았거든요. 자,
희망이 사라졌습니다.
유리차이가
자원으로 셔틀이 무너지면서 이번 경기 다크 작전이 성공했습니다.
Welcome back, everybody. We're going to take a quick look into the replay of this game.
The initial tank drop. Let's see what he targets.
Yeah, so I think he hit drones first, right?
First thing he does is kill a drone.
Now-
Next thing he does is kill a Hydra.
Now imagine that was 4 tank volleys total, I think, before the hatchery
280
started.
damage.
So could he have killed that hatchery? Like, is it in fact wiser to just try to gun down the hatch? Oh wow, it's even more than that because of just the amount of time.
Well, he had to move forward, right?
Right,
Okay,
right.
and there's
So this is
3 more shots. So, okay, hold on. 280 plus 3 times 70, right? 210. So, as long as this gets below 400, he could have killed it if he had really focused. Yep. Right, and see, this is where you bring the high jump. This is the counterplay type situation. Where you're like, okay, do I attack the high, just do I attack the hatch?
right.
Yeah, you were quite right. He absolutely could have ended up killing the hatchery.
But it's a tough call.
Yeah.
You know, also we have to keep in mind that whenever the hatchery did get low, he was going to send the hiders up. Maybe he would have gotten the tanks anyways.
No,
but
yeah, but he spent many hundreds of damage, like 500 plus damage on things that he didn't necessarily need to. So theoretically, he could have targeted, right? He could have targeted the sunken more quickly, and then he could have targeted the hatchery more quickly. So yeah, maybe that was a big turning point.
Now, that being said, maybe if mine kills a hatchery, Hero still wins. I don't know. There were so many variables in that game, but interesting to see him go for that type of play. Now we're going to go on to Transistor for game number 2.
Yeah, that was a sick first game. Holy crap.
That was a real treat to cast.
Yeah. I love the mind games back and forth. It just shows what a great game Brood War really is, man. Like, even when you seem dead, nah, man, these guys can make anything happen.
ASL Season 5.
Yeah.
Turnaround.
Okay, Terran center left, Zerg upper right. The Overlord Scout is going in the direction towards the Terran spawn this time.
Transistor, a very fun map for TVZs so far. Had a lot of crazy games, not necessarily in ASL. The games have been a little bit weird, but for those of you hardcore Brood War fans out there that watch KCM, we see a lot of TVZs on this map. Generally Piano versus Sulky. It's very weird. It happens like all the time, but it's not a map where you see mech. It's definitely a bio map. Mech. I've never seen anyone go mech here, and I don't know how they would after playing it some myself.
No, it seems like if they make it one direction, you expand out the other way.
Yeah, and it's just you can't cut everything up very easily with mech here. So it definitely seems a very bio-oriented map, very drop-oriented in the later game. I would expect for this to go into a longer map game, even though here in ASL we've seen a lot of shorter games on Transistor.
I'm still damaged goods from when you came over to my house, Artosis, for our StarCraft day, and I didn't know this was in the map pool, and I'm all like, I'm going to show Artosis how much I've improved.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, oh, what is this in the pool?
Yeah,
I wasn't ready.
It was the day that it changed. I hadn't known either.
Yeah,
I hadn't played
yeah.
that morning, so I was like, oh, wait, Transistor. Oh, sick. I can't wait to get home. I'm like, bye, Tasteless. Gotta go home and ladder. Yeah.
So, because there are 2 ramps into your base, it seems like there's a lot of interesting ways this game can pan out. Structurally, we've really tinkered with all the maps here in StarCraft 1 in such a way that it should make for games kind of like we have not seen before. I mean, Third World is a perfect example of this.
Yeah.
It was a fight on really 2 different parts of the map.
Yeah. And it kept going back and forth to where they were fighting. It was
and
crazy.
The later part of that game, the island section of the map is more important than the land-connected section. And I'm curious, with Transistor, it's set up in such a way that you're always sort of expanding away from your main. Thanks for coming down, guys. Hope you're enjoying the games. And it makes for pushes that are kind of hard to map. You can control one area pushing, but you might not be able to get to another one.
Yeah.
You know, and both players have the opportunity to try to expand, in this case, to the bottom right, try to grow down that way. Do you feel like there's a race that would necessarily be favored here on this map, Artosis?
Between these 2 races specifically,
yeah.
I think it's a bit Zerg favored, but I'm not completely married to that. I think most Terrans feel that way. You know, you got just like the double ramps. It's basically, okay, there's like, for instance, 5-racks play. Part of the reason why it's really cool is sometimes you get random wins with it.
Yeah.
Where it's like even top-level Zergs would be like, oh, you had like a lurker out of position or a lurker missing, and then they bust the Sunkens and you're dead or something.
Yeah.
You know, that won't ever happen here, right? Stuff like that.
Right.
Like a lot of the random wins don't happen as much. So yeah, and the fact that you can't do mech transitions, as far as I know you can't, I've never seen anyone do one here. It really turns into just SK Terran overall, and that kind of that predictability, and that is generally considered a little bit weaker and stuff. So yeah, I think it's a little bit Zerg favored, but we've seen good games on either side.
I'm really curious to see how Zerg could leverage drops here, because it would just seem as though
Zerg drops,
massive Zerg drops would be just a very difficult thing for the Terran to deal with, because your main is frankly very tiny. You're putting a lot of your structures over in this natural place, but there's so many areas that you could drop into there.
You know, I think that's probably one of the several reasons why we don't see mech here. Mech would not be able to stop Zerg drops at all.
Yeah.
But I think, at least the games that I've seen here so far, Zerg doesn't have a lot of time to drop, even though they will sometimes. It's like, as Terran on this map, I think you have to be crazily aggressive with your bio. Like you are everywhere with it, and then you start getting drop ships and you start dropping everywhere, because everywhere on this map is super droppable. Like the back of your natural and stuff, like you can't cover everything with Scourge. You know, you're gonna miss stuff.
Oh, for sure.
And so I think it turns into, a lot of the time, a massive defending game for Zerg, and if you defend long enough, suddenly it's like, oh, now I have Ultras and, you know, Defilers and enough bases, and like you're still at the, you know, 120 supply Terran units dropping everywhere.
I guess
like,
in some ways it could be articulated that this is a race against the clock for Terran to stop the Zerg, to slow the Zerg down before they're going to get too big to fail here.
Yeah, I think that's a good way to put it. And a lot of times that's kind of what bio is. It's just like you keep pressure on nonstop so that they can't do things like mass Ultras and get a plague on your army.
Yeah.
But once they do that, okay, well, bio has run its course and you're done. But yeah, I think we've kind of summarized that pretty well on what that's likely to look like. And I mean, so far, going up to a good 4 racks for Mind. Going to start to move out and pressure a bit. That Spire should be finishing shortly.
Zerg was wary about taking a third base immediately, and is instead powered up with 3 hatches in the main. Keep in mind, oh god, I almost forgot about this in that series, that Hero actually went for a Hydra Rush in game 1. Do you remember that?
Yeah. The game was
so weird.
Had so many different moments.
This is really what a ZVT is going to look like, generally speaking, with the Zerg playing slightly more conservative.
Yeah.
Now, sometimes if Zergs are not ready in time, these busts just kill them, and I'm actually a little bit worried here. I don't see Sunken Colonies Artosis.
Yeah.
What?
Well, he's got his mutas building right now, so he's not going to die. It's just, oh, those were Lings building.
Okay, so this is cleaned up.
Yeah.
It is actually...
This was really good for mine, though, I would say. And here's why, right? Like, he forced all the larvae to be spent. This was very specifically timed out because it was a command center first build.
Right.
To hit with, and it's a 5 racks play too, right? If you go a regular barracks expand into something like this, you can't get there before the mutas are out. It's not going to happen with Stim and Medevac, or Medevacs and Marines and Medics.
It's getting harder and harder to get the StarCraft 1, StarCraft 2 terms in line in the cast. The more we're doing both
the
of these
words
games,
are almost the same, but they're just barely not.
So,
right? But like it hits, and like he forced Zerglings out of the larva when you wanted to save that for your mutas. So the mutas even come a little bit later. He killed some extra drones. I think that was pretty good for mine overall.
Now, forcing the Lings to come from the larva instead of the mutas does destabilize Zerg's momentum. And you can see Mind has just set up all of his turrets. The mutas are not really a threat. If Lings run in and kill these turrets, maybe, but Mind is playing a very, very robust push style that also he can defend pretty much everything from. You know, he's keeping enough back home that Zerg can't get in. He's pushing out enough that Zerg is going to feel very threatened taking a third base.
Oh, yeah, he's not taking a third base as of yet. It's kind of interesting because he's gone into a Queen's Nest already. So he'll be going into Hive on 2 base.
Is he going to go into Guardians here with these mutas?
I don't think so.
No?
Like,
I just don't know. I'm really not sure.
There's not a good attack point for Guardians, I guess. I guess you could try to attack the main or something, but like 5 racks always transitions into double starport, and like
I was wondering
I can't imagine.
I was wondering if maybe he wants to morph Guardians and then have something on the low ground and try to push up and break and have. I don't know because this map is so strange. But the fact that he's going on Hive in some of the games that I've seen and in my experience, it's not the best thing to do, but we have seen Zergs go 2 hatch into Guardian.
Yeah.
And usually you're trying to abuse some point on the map.
And I like Guardian builds in general. I would just be a little bit surprised if it's this game because it feels like Mine can seamlessly convert himself into an anti-Guardian play. Like he can go Wraiths, or his Science Vessels are going to be starting relatively soon. His factory's already done for sure.
We have a scan here. Do we have the Defiler mount? We're just waiting. I mean, I guess that's the only thing it could be.
The Hive is still building right now, but it's going to be done pretty soon.
Okay.
A lot of Ling Muta are made right now, so he's looking to surround the army and kill it off.
Wow, Mind's base looking so healthy right now.
Yeah. Yeah, he's like with those starports coming up and everything. Okay, he's bringing down some Morlings, so he's going to do a massive attack on this army. He just wants to clear these Marines.
Terran wants to control this bottom right part of the map because the later the hatchery comes up for a third base here, the better. Here's the drone.
Yeah.
If he gets his drone, it's actually huge.
Okay, here come the Lings. So he'll clear this off, but there's another big group of Marine medic coming up right now. And it's going to be harder to flank this one.
Okay. Mind at this point in time getting very sizable, a real threat on the map. But with two lurkers here.
Perfect.
Oh, wow. Good instinct there. Scans that immediately. Yeah. And that means the hero gets the third base.
Okay.
And now he may end up making 2 drop ships. I know that normally we see science vessels, but we have in some of the ASL games seen Terran players rush out 2 drop ships and try to do something very aggressive to take out that base and just try to knock Zerg back again.
Yeah, I think he'll start with his vessels because we already see a radiator on the way. Oh, he did get a drop ship
go for it.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Well, I think it's the same idea as that this is a very droppable spot on the map, so why not just exploit that?
And like especially right now, you see where the mutas are. Mutas are going to take forever to get back.
Oh wow,
here.
He's going to try to end it right now.
He's definitely
he's going to elevator this up here. What is that making? What is the tech? So he can just elevator this. Great interception there on the mutas.
Not really microing that group too well right now, but really focusing on elevating, as you said, so understandable.
Okay, he's going to try to get the... Oh, man, the muta count's been thinned out. I think he can actually snowball this one.
That's a lot of Marines up there. That is a lot. 2 lurkers finishing. Okay, he can clear this, but... Oh. Luckily, he pulls that dropship back around.
He might even want to send the dropship down. Yeah.
Yeah,
Just mix it up. Oh, my God. Hero's so good. He knows.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Will he get it? No. But he prevents it from immediately unloading.
He's buying time. Those lurkers might have to go around.
But if he repositions those, then a run up the ramp would be really strong as well.
Ooh, getting a lot of these mutas. Only 2 now remaining.
Oh, he's got to get that Nidus to finish.
I think he can dismantle this if he gets in there in time. But you're right, the Nidus is coming. Once the Nidus is up there, basically any Zerg can begin to hold that.
And this is exactly the type of play you want to do as Mind as well. He's bringing a group of Marines around to the ramps, so he's like threatening the drop. If you move your lurkers from the ramp, you are just going to bust right in the front door.
Okay, he might try to D-Matrix one of the Marines and then try to bust up the ramp that way as well.
Yeah, I think he had 2 irradiates also. We saw the science facility already blinking with a pretty quick irradiate, so he could get rid of both those lurkers, then more have to come through. But this drop in the main base doing a great job as well.
Oh, they're not burrowed!
Oh, plenty of time. He's going to... Oh, my God, the sickest volleys.
Okay, it's been broken. The main is right now unattended to. Some Lings are coming to try to save this, but Hero's in a tough spot. He has to save his main, but he also has to keep this third base alive.
All right, a couple lurkers coming up. Should be able to keep his hive alive from here, I would say.
Oh my God, he's doing such a good job targeting these.
Listen,
Artosis, those are medic Marine, okay? A couple of those can last forever if they just have the right engages.
They certainly can. Especially when only 2 lurkers go up to try to get rid of him.
Yeah.
Look at this. The pressure that Mind is keeping on is just awesome right now. He's got so many units all over the place. He's controlling the center of the map. This is just like Hero running around like a chicken with its head cut off.
Okay. This is, I think, almost to the breaking point. I mean, we need to see Defilers. We need to see something set up here. Like Defiler and a Lurker saves the day. Lings do not. Okay, Hero Firebat coming in to save the day. This might be the breaking point. I think Mind is about to take this. He needs to just get that Nidus down. And it goes down.
Dude, this
GG. That's it.
That was awesome. Really awesome play.
That was so cool.
Yeah, really awesome play. Like, I'm just slightly surprised that Hero wasn't a little bit more on top of the defense against the initial Marine medic push.
Yeah, same.
Because it was a very quick command center, right? That was like command center first. And generally when you go command center first, you follow up with a couple barracks and a quick academy. It kind of like fills in some holes, gives you some power on the map. And just that very first group, it was a small group, ran right up his ramp. Sunkens weren't ready, he had no Lings. It forced him into Lings instead of mutas. You know, everything went wrong for Hero at that point. And from there we saw, right, he went for a quick hive, but didn't get a third base forever, had a hard time holding off everything. He could keep no pressure on Mind, and Mind just played the aggressive drop-based Terran to perfection.
And it worked.
Yeah.
This has been such an awesome series so far. We're tied up 1-1, and we'll be going to game number 3 here shortly. We're going to go right back to the replay, though. Now, this was really smart. He tried using the dropship in the main, realized it's not going to work there, went down and put some pressure on. And even though the focal point for most of this was the attack at that third, the fact that he dropped here, this was enough that Zerg was starting to hurt.
Yeah, that was a lot of damage. That drop in the main base, and it lasted for so long. Like when those two lurkers walked up and just kind of got gunned down, it was such an issue. Not talking about these two, but the ones in the main base. Obviously, this is a good move for Mind as well. Anytime when you're going for a strategy like this, if you are gunning down things like lurkers,
yeah,
and basically anytime you're trading units is really good. If you're both just sitting massing units, that's less good.
Well, you know, until that third gas kicks in for the Zerg, every lurker is very precious. So these two killed off here. This is 6 lurkers killed off in the span of about a minute.
Yeah.
And that means that, especially on Transistor, where there's so many angles that third base that he hit at, Mind managed to break through. He just got in there, he did the damage. And that means we're tied up 1-1. We're going to a break. We come back, game 3, Hero versus Mind. We're back. The night keeps getting better and better. We've had 2 fantastic games so far, and Mind really exhibited. That's not a modern style of play, really. We've seen that from a lot of Terran players. 5 Raxes, abusing a drop ship, and then pushing out with vessels. But the way he managed to dismantle Hero was really impressive.
Yeah, Hero was on his back foot after that first Marine medic push, and Mind just leaned on him, and that's how you have to play that style as well. He was just everywhere. He was mixing up. He was trying to, kind of just stay on top of him and not let him get that extra base up and trade units whenever he can. So brilliantly played by Mind. Hero having a much tougher time there in Game 2.
If you want to buy tickets to the ASL, there's a link on our screen below. We basically are filling the studio up so fast that we need people to come in here and pay. Like, the studio fills up. It's not expensive, but do continue to come down. Yeah,
Let's just say
$5 bucks.
Make sure that you get them ahead of time if you can, and if you can't, if there's any leftover tickets, you can buy them at the front desk. But especially if you're going to come on Flashes Day, I would suggest to try to get them online. I'm not sure if anyone will be left, but who knows.
And when you get your ticket, hang on to it and keep it, because we have a draw, a giveaway at the very end. We're giving away stuff like ASL uniforms, ASL mouse pads. That's right.
Okay. I want one of those ASL uniforms, man.
I want one of those ASL mouse pads.
Well, if I ever get a mouse pad, you ever get a uniform, I'll trade.
Okay, deal.
Perfect. All right, Mind versus Hero going into game number 3. The third game will be on Sparkle. This is Mind's veto. It seems at this point to be unwinnable for Terran. I haven't seen a Terran win against a Zerg on this map in a long, long time.
Yeah, this map we brought out to get more pure island maps into the rotation, but it turns out Zerg seem to be very strong. But look, if there's someone who can come up with a strategy to take on a Zerg on a map like this, I would say it's Mind. He's a very bright player.
Yeah, if he just opens with the standard raid play, I'll be a little bit surprised. Everyone's gotten very good at that, and it seems like it works for a while against Zerg, and then you realize they have 6 gas.
Attention.
Yeah.
ASL Season 5. Yeah. Turnaround.
Looks like Zerg in the bottom right, and Mind, Terran player in the top right. The problem is, I can't even think of anything that would work, because it's a 4-player map, other than the Wraith opener. Because if you don't open with the Wraiths, Mutas will dominate you.
Oh, for sure.
There's not like a thing you can do that will dominate the Mutas, because to deal with Mutas early on, either you're walking around a map with a ton of Marines, or you're rushing to a science vessel. Or you can use Cloak Wraiths, obviously. That's what we see on the island map. But if you try to do either of those here, first off, the Marines have to get off the island. What is the vessel going to do? The vessel can't go too far away from the island, or it'll just get scourged. What, you're going to get a radiate? Okay, you're going to kill Muta and lose a science vessel? Okay, you're going to lose the game. So you would imagine he's going to open with the Wraiths, but will there be a transition? A lot of people just stay on the Wraiths and try to win with Wraith Valkyrie, eventually into Battlecruiser and science vessel sometimes. We saw Light try to go into Marines. It didn't work out for him. In fact, we were even kind of teasing him at the moment, but he was actually ahead of the metagame, I think, at that point, to be honest.
Well,
because it's just become so hard to win with straight Wraith Valk.
So one thing about this map is that there's a gas base that only the Zerg can take right away. The original old school island maps, you had 1 base per island. So this was a problem because Zerg don't really operate on 1 base, right? And so it was advantageous for Protosses especially to just play like that. Now what we did is we gave 2 bases on the map, and then a 3rd one that only Zerg can take due to these crazy features. You can see that one being taken here now. So it seems like this has actually helped Zerg out a little bit more than we expected. And Terrans, the last 2 here in the ASL, have been scrambling to come up with an answer for how to deal with this.
Yeah.
And this is really what we do to keep StarCraft alive and healthy, is constantly having new maps come out so that we can keep the strategy's changing, the meta evolving, because this is not a game that's constantly patched. Blizzard does not look at this game and say, oh, we need to change the cost of the hatchery now. This game is always going to be kind of the way it is. But when we take new maps, it does force a change in the style of play.
Yep. So looking at what we have here, it looks like Mind is teching up immediately instead of Command Center first into his tech, which is totally fine. Both are played pretty often from Terran on this map. I would imagine he'll be just going into 2-port Wraith immediately, and then just utilizing Great Micro and Cloak into Valkyries eventually.
So one of the problems for a Wraith muted game is that although Wraiths do a lot of damage to air, and obviously they can attack ground, they're shockingly brittle units.
Yes.
I mean, they just, and that's why they have Cloak, by the way, but if they're spotted, they die. Now, the Mutalisk is actually a much tougher unit overall. A Mutalisk can fight. It's basically one of the best units in the game. A lot of times people say that because of the way it can be controlled, but a Wraith can be controlled that way as well. But head-to-head, Mutas will basically beat Wraiths.
Yes, they do beat them head-to-head.
Unless you are able to Cloak and get a bunch of pot shots off on the Mutalisk. And of course, the fact that Zerg also have Scourge make it another threat as well, where it seems like the early air arsenal for Zerg is a little bit trickier to deal with than the early air arsenal for Terran.
But I guess part of the trickiness can be that with the Cloak, you can mess things up. You can screw up the math, right? Like you can utilize the shorter sight distance of the Overlord. You can utilize the fact that Overlord's speed is a little bit expensive to get right off the bat, things like that, to have a bit of an advantage. Then you can get into Valkyries, and that changes the name of the game quite significantly. But so far, Hero is actually getting a Hydraless Den right now. This doesn't necessarily mean that he'll just straight up go for Hydras. We might just see, because it is 2 quick starports, him pop out a few Hydras to just defend the initial rates and then go into Spire. That's what I imagine is going to happen here.
Okay, those Wraiths are going to come out. And you're right, if the Wraiths can get good pairings, excellent, you know? If you can get a Cloak position and start to do some damage, that's great. Now, Hero is already well aware that these Wraiths are going to be coming. He's just getting confirmation of the starting location, and now he has enough Hydras. And in case you're wondering what beats a Wraith in general, everything.
Everything beats a Wraith.
Everything beats a Wraith. But if a Wraith can find anything exposed, then it kills it. So it's not like the Wraiths even want to fight the Hydras. The Wraiths are trying to control the area that the Hydras can't get to, and basically keep Zerg contained on this island. Now, the problem with this map specifically is that the Zerg is not being slowed down growth-wise, even if it's being contained on the island. Oh, this is bad. Oh! He actually manages to go through. Nicely done. If he lost those Wraiths, it's like, well...
You can't lose your first 2 Wraiths. Yeah. It is just not even allowed. We'd revoke his Terran card. He would
That's right.
He would not have made it this far in ASL if he was going to just straight up lose 2 Wraiths off the bat.
Now, Zerg is getting up to 3 bases here, where Terran is just now starting to get to 2. So, growth rate, Zerg looking very, very good.
We don't see a Spire yet from Hero. That's an interesting thing that we're looking at. No Spire. You know, I mean, you can just go into Hydra drops, but if the drops get caught by the Wraiths,
there
trouble
it is.
You would be in. Okay, he is going to go ahead and get the lair. I mean, the Spire, sorry. One thing we saw from Shine, I believe it was, and might have been against Light or something. Anyways, he went for Hydras with drops, but then also just like had enough Mutas and Scourge to protect the Overlords on the way to the Terran base.
Yeah.
And when the Overlords got there, it was game over because you've been making Wraiths. You don't really have anything else to fight the Hydras once they're out.
Okay, wow, they can just barely slip through here. Now, this is pretty cool because he can one-shot down these drones, or I thought he could.
If they all fire, he can.
Yeah, because the Zerg immediately gains 1 HP right after taking damage, and it starts to heal like that. Now, here's the scary thing. Wow, he's just narrowly avoiding these Hydras and actually doing a great job dealing this damage. Now, there is still the threat. Anytime the Zerg can get Hydras onto the Terran Island, the Wraiths can't defend. I mean, you're skating on very thin ice with this style from Mind.
Yeah.
How do you think this map would look if we took away the free third base for the Zerg, third gas?
I think it would instantly go on the other way.
You think Terran would just start to dominate?
Yeah. Yeah, it's because Zerg can get so many gases that they can kind of stay alive. Because early on, like, look at what's going on right now, right? Like, literally, Hydras are a good counter to Wraith, but he's kind of stuck for the time being. And if he didn't have that 3 gas, he couldn't go Overlord speed, Overlord drop, Hydras, Hydra upgrades, Scourge, and Muta, which is what he's going to probably be going, right? Like, you can't do all that off 2 gas. And so the Wraith player just continually gains value and builds up, and you're, you know, it gets out of control. But once you have that 3rd gas, suddenly you can do a whole hell of a lot, and eventually, you know, you'll have another main base, and then you have 6 gas, and suddenly it's like, how many bases does Terran have to take? He has to take literally half the map to get 6 gases, whereas Zerg doesn't, right?
Yeah, it's very true. Now, I do want to point out to everybody that Mind is doing some damage to Hero. It's not like Hero's gone unbruised, unscathed in this game. And these are some excellent catches here. The Scourge coming out here to try to see if they can't do a little bit of scouting. I know it sounds weird since Scourge don't have a lot of vision, but if you get them over there. Okay, so now the Armory's coming.
Yeah, I mean, he needs to get his upgrades going as well because he is on 4 starport, but of course Valkyries are an important part of this. Now he's floating his buildings that he's not using to try to spot things that are coming out, and that's why the Wraiths are going slightly to the left to try to catch things that are coming to the left. And if anything flies over his buildings, then he'll go chase that down. So you never know. There can be mind games, right? Like you send something over the barracks so that the Wraiths go over there, then you fly in a different direction. Or, as we were talking about before, you actually just bring Muta Scourge with your Overlords that are full of Hydras. And the thing, like, the Wraiths will eventually kill those Mutas and Scourge, but it doesn't matter if you make it all the way to their base.
Yeah, basically,
if you're going for
if Zerg can get to the Terran space, then the Terran should lose. So Mind has to set up everything in this delicate fashion to try to preempt that. Now, if Hero sends everything out and it's all gunned down in the air, Mind could win the game.
Yeah, and
I know that sounds like an understatement, but I mean it is really hard for Terran to win on this map.
Yeah. Oh, that is unlucky from Mind right there. Not able to see that Overlord that just skirts along the bottom.
Well,
of the map.
he had to place that Wraith a little bit further down. It's definitely where the Zerg is going to try to sneak out. Is at the very bottom edge. So I mean, unfortunately, Mind not.
He just lost the Wraith as well. It looks like a Scourge flew out and killed it.
So this is pretty bad because now, how is Terran going to try to deny this without the risk of a drop headed northbound, taking out Mind's main?
Yes, this is getting very difficult to try to get side. Ooh, a little mistake there. A couple Scourges hitting the building. Looks like they were just on an attack move and saw that. Okay, so Hero actually trying to take both these hatcheries. It takes a long time to kill this, and this could be the time that you leave with your draw.
Here we go.
Now, okay, it looks like he wants to go over and fight this. So, this is kind of interesting as well, right? To move over and try to actually fight against these Wraiths just shows how confident Hero is in a longer game. That was a moment where he could probably have gone and tried to draw the main base of mine. Wow, this is just so weird to watch him sit here and fight, but more Wraiths coming in, so he does win.
Problem is, now there's Hydras on the ground, so the Wraiths can't contest this anymore.
Okay, so he could have gone to the main base, but the thing is, if you bring all that to the main base and it doesn't kill Mind, is your position improved? Maybe, maybe not. If you take another main base as Zerg, though, that's 3 more gases. 3 more, so that's 6 gases. Like, you almost never see a Zerg versus Terran match where the Zerg has 6 gases and loses. It's a very, like, that's a ton of bases for Zerg.
It absolutely is. Okay. He's going to try to come in here and fight this again. Now, if he gets the Overlords, then Cloak wins. That's another thing to point out.
Also, some of them are running out of energy. That's another thing to point out.
Oh, yeah.
That does happen. Cloak does not last forever. These are not DTs.
So, air armor is now done here for Hero. Weapons upgrades here for Mind as well. Air weapons, I should say. And I think we've got to point out that Hero is really just playing the long game here.
Yeah, he just wants to play a long game.
Some of the Zergs we've seen have tried to end this right away. Try to, just approach the obvious fact that, well, if you drop them, you get over there, the Wraiths can't stop the Hydras. But it seems like Hero says, No, I mean, mine's pretty smart. I want to make sure that I'm basically playing a safe game, because in the late game I can win this as well in this matchup on this map.
Yeah. Well, I think the late game is where it gets much scarier for Terran. Like, obviously, the Wraiths early on, you have to really do reconnaissance and make sure they don't get to you. But when you get later, right, like, let's say the Terran takes the top part of the map. Okay, there's 4 main bases, and there's 4 islands. Each island has 1 gas on it. Right. The minerals don't really come into play. If you watch games here, the minerals get spent on things like spores and turrets. It's gas-based on islands. So anyways, if you take this space that he's taken, right, and he gets that top left main, suddenly he has 5 gases, okay?
Correct.
If Zerg gets the rest, which is what happens a lot of times in like the matches that you can see online with the players streaming on Afreeca, it'll be the Zerg with the other bases, and that's 9 gases. 9 against 5, that's 4 more gases, right? So like, this is the type of situation that he's going for. What unit comp do you go with as Terran there? Normally, if you're actually in that position where you don't have any sort of tempo and you can't kill bases, you'll end up going BC.
Ooh, hold on.
God.
Now the Hydras are not quite here yet. The Scourge have done their damage, but the meter count's pretty low. But as the Hydras manage to come up, there's no way that the Wraiths can take them on directly. He tries to kite away. Scourge going to come in here, possibly for an intercept. Hope those are on attack command. Oh!
Oops. It wasn't that bad, but...
Yeah, could have been much worse for sure.
So he is taking these additional bases, and that can be cleared up without too much problem.
2 Hydras is low enough that I think he actually could just go ahead and get this with his Wraiths.
Oh, yeah.
But
Definitely.
There's more drops possibly coming up here.
Kind of has to do that, too. Ooh, the triple drop Overlord. But you know what? 3 Overlords dropping is just 12 Hydras. With your Wraiths, you can kind of micro and skirt around there. Because your Wraiths stack, the Hydras don't. So if you come in from angles, you can like fire at them.
Yeah.
Like all your Wraiths can fire at once, and not all the Hydras will fire at once to hit them. So there's Wraiths are, like you were talking about earlier, it's all down to micro and tactics.
Yeah.
Like the Wraith is as good as the person using the Wraith.
I like that. Very well said. Yeah, it couldn't be more true.
Yeah. It's
If
one of
you're-
the most
if you're-
skill-intense units in the game.
If you're a bad player, the Wraith seems like an utterly useless unit.
Yeah, it gets pretty garbagey.
Okay, well, Mind has now taken basically the upper third of the map. Artosis was pointing out earlier that Zerg can generally take the rest, but I will say Mind has done, I think, the best he can on this map to try to get in here and make this work.
Like, I don't think he's doing poorly here.
No, I think he's doing actually a pretty damn good job.
Yeah, it's just like, how do you, where are you going from here? He's going to add some factories, it looks like. I don't know if he lost a factory and that's what's happened. No, he didn't. Okay. The best Terrans I've seen on this map generally get a bunch of siege tanks everywhere, because eventually Dark Swarm drops start coming in to try to wreck you.
Yeah.
But if you have a decent amount of siege tanks everywhere, that doesn't really do anything. So I think there's actually already a factory at the new main and the expansion, and he's making one in his own main. And look, he is getting ready for those BCs that we were talking about before.
Whoa, where's the vision? Something ran out of the cloak.
Yeah. So it looks like this game is going to go into that very long situation. So like I was talking about before, BC, vessel, tank is what that'll end up being.
So with the BCs here, keep in mind that there are these 2 bases in the center, and I guess there's a third one down there at the bottom, but mainly these 2 bases on the left, on the right, in the middle. BCs can start to try to poke into that. Yamato's pretty handy.
Yeah.
It is a little bit harder for Zerg to take out BCs in some ways. It's just like Scourge, for instance, are not good against them.
Not
BCs
really.
one-shot Scourge.
It'll come down to things like Queens and Devourers. And Devourers are extremely good in that situation, right? You're slowing the BC, you're dealing damage to the BC. If the BC gets too close to land, obviously that's when the Defiler can just wreck it as well. But that's part of the problem too, is like, do you ever commit? Oh my God.
So good.
Well, that's expensive.
Yeah. And you got to think that Zerg cast that spell. Terran has to then use his resources to try to repair it.
Big drop coming in now when all those Wraiths are hurt. Where is that going to go?
It's going to go for the center island.
Okay.
That'll disjoint the Terran. where this center left base, it's not like he controls the upper third of the map, but instead he just has another island.
Actually, are there units in those overlords, or did those overlords just kind of come over? They, you know, he is getting ready for an attack. See all those devourers?
Yeah.
See, the devourers will slow everything down, and like they counter wraiths really hard, and then the scourge can hit everything as well.
Okay.
This is.
He might actually have 2 drops, so he might have one on the other main in the top left, and then an additional drop over here to the center, the 12 o'clock base.
Oh, does he see that?
Well, now
he does.
I think he's fine with this being seen.
Yeah. Oh man. Okay, he sees what's coming in. This is really scary. I don't think he has enough to stop this at all.
Yeah, no, I think this may be the beginning of the end here. The Wraiths are going to come over here and try to help. Now there's another drop that's at GG.
Yeah.
Okay, before the finishing blow comes in there with that 12 o'clock drop. Hero smashes them. Mind is going to have to deliver on his other maps.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, that's Sparkle for you, right? It's a map we'll never see again in pro play for sure.
I agree. I think that I'm glad we tried it out, but man.
Yeah. Well, it's just like Mind is taking a ton of different locations and having to go Wraith kind of, and he's getting far fewer resources than a drone snuck to the bottom left.
Right.
You know, it's just like, let's get to a ground map. Gladiator coming up next.
Okay. That game went as expected, but Mind is not out of this yet. He just has to win this next game and our last one. Hero is 1 victory away from moving on to the Final Four, where he'll face off against Rain, assuming he can clean house here.
All right, we'll see if he can do it.
We're going to go to a short break. When we come back, game number 4, Hero versus Mind here in the ASL.
두 선수 모두 다 좀 안정적인 빌드를 선택을 해가면서 운영 위주로 플레이를 하고 있습니다. 상대방의 투로보틱스 체제를 봤어요. 그리고 이제 게이트웨이도 위쪽에 몰래 하나 더 건설이 되고 있다는 사실을 알았고, 본인은 넥서스 쪽에다가 자원을 하나 더 투자를 했기 때문에 공격 권한이 없다라는 것을 파악을 한 상태라 그쪽에 셔틀이 동시에 나타날 줄 알고 있을 텐데, 반대로 셔틀은 돌아왔고요.
리버 하나 내리고.
네, 드라군 어느 정도 여기 있는 드라군들이 다 와야 돼요. 자, 템플 어카이브 내려서 때리면 깨져.
예, 드라군이 둘러싸면서 자 셔틀과 리버.
자, 때리다가 말았고요. 자, 수비가 됐습니다. 아래쪽에 셔틀을 지금 잃지 않기 위해서 빠져나갈 수밖에 없고요. 이쪽 지역은 완성시키기 좀 어려울 것 같아요.
네, 병력 내리면서 확장기 뒤쪽 전제 들어갑니다. 으로 하나씩 숫자 좀 줄이고 있고.
네, 나갔던 셔틀들.
자, 본진한 쪽에
박사카는 있으나 많아고요.
자, 싸움 겁니다.
이게 소위 말하는 그 브루드워 초창기에는 이런 걸 둠드랍이라고 불렀었거든요.
그렇죠. 그 유명한 둠드랍.
자, 내렸어요. 이제 리버 세기까지 이용하면서.
자, 리버 하나가 지금 또 생존을 했고, 하이테플러가 딱 나오기 일보 직전 타이밍에 자, 리버가 좋은 자리 잡으면서 구석에서
여기는 게이트 생산 기지 있는 쪽이거든요.
네.
마키도 여기서 좀 이득을 보는 드라군들을 그냥 마구 잡아내는 그런 역할 정도만 해도 되는 리버.
포지션이 굉장히 좋아요.
좁은 길로 오잖아요.
네.
맞아요.
저 화력 좋은 다크가 최대한 그 데미지를 많이 입혀줬습니다.
그렇습니다. 그러면서 슬쩍 빠져나가는 것. 5셔틀.
자, 미리 대기해주면서 자, 셔틀에 병력이 타다 보면 빨리 막으러 와야죠.
네, 병력 자체는 굉장히 지금은 많기는 했었습니다만은
자, 캐다다가 하나 터졌고.
네.
와!
자, 리버까지는 빨리 제거를 했는데 나머지 잔여 병력에 이 넥서스가 손상이 안 되는 게 중요해서 빨리 실어야 돼요. 빨리 역습 오지 못하게 계속 들어가는 겁니다. 이건 상대방 병력이 많이 안 떠났다면 굳이 들어가지 않아도 될 것 같은데, 자, 리버가 있기 때문에
드라군들이
가만히 멈춰 있었어요. 반응이 좀 느렸습니다.
자, 이번에 얻어맞고
스캐너 2방 맞았고,
게다가 리버가 예, 데미지 많이 입히고 있고요.
그렇죠.
자, 리버 내렸어요. 지금 아케드
네,
싸움이거든요.
데리고 가면 되죠. 이런 정도 상황이면은. 근데
자, 내려오고
아케드까지 합니다.
아카니 들어와서 아카니.
와, 이거
병력 자체는 꽤 많이 있었는데
네,
그냥
인구수 확 벌어졌어요.
넥서스를 예, 상대 병력이 많기 때문에
또 상대가 먼저 내리게 된다면 이건 거의 핵보다 더 무서운 그런 드랍이 될 수 있어요.
오고 넥서스를 지었는데 자 떨어졌어요. 정윤종 선수의 병력입니다.
네,
아칸이 맷집 역할 제대로 해줬고요.
예,
네.
리버까지 포함된 병력이기 때문에 자 이 병력 구성
예.
자체가
바깥쪽으로 내려서
자, 빨리 내려야 되는데요.
네, 내려야 되는데 병력이 제대로 지금은
네.
수비 라인에 형성이 안 됐어요.
진짜.
이미 이거
들어오네요. 초토화돼요.
예, 싣고 가도 이미 손해입니다.
자원 채취가 거의 안 되고 있는데 미네랄이 늘어나지 않습니다.
인구수가 60
네.
정도 지금 차이 나는 상황이기 때문에 추가 멀티 그래 건드려라 나는 너의 마지막이라고 볼 수 있는 멀티를 자원줄을 끊겠다 이 판단을 지금 정인종 선수가 한 건데요.
네, 여기서
네.
태화산이 내리면서 싸우고 있는데 태화산이 빠져나가는 모습.
손해를 많이 보는 상황이라서 자 하이템플로
한 방이라도. 어우.
일단은 기본 병력의 종류상에서는 차이가 많이 나거든요. 하이템플 사이리스톰
네, 내려서 여기 지켜야 됩니다. 김은정.
자 악한 머리 위쪽으로 스톰 뒤집어 씌우는 데는 성공을 했습니다만 리버
네.
하나가 지금 일단 살아있고요.
그렇죠.
악한 차이가 납니다. 악한 차이가.
맷집 역할이 대단해요.
네, 추가 병력이 지금은 와서 수비를 해야 되는 상황인데
네.
자 닥스테프로 2기
자,
마인 컨트롤.
자, 이제 마커까지 나오긴 했는데.
네.
자, 내려서 다크.
네. 나머지 병력들이 다
여기
하나
안 되나요?
네. 그리고 아칸 이렇게 지금은 남아 있었습니다. 자 질럿과 아칸입니다.
자원 채취 잠깐만 중단돼도 이건 어마어마한 타격이 돼버립니다.
그렇죠. 다크테플러가 지금은 있는 이런 상황이긴 합니다만 질럿이 떨어졌기 때문에 그 상황 속에서 손해는 어쩔 수가 없고 자 질럿 아칸의 프로브가 지금은 터져 나가고 있어요. 자 프로브
지금
견제.
맷집.
예, 스톰 한 방을 썼습니다. 그냥 계속 지속적인 공격을 이번에는 본진으로 상대방 본진으로 들어왔습니다.
아픈 곳이 두 곳인데 또 거리가
세상에.
너무 길어서 막아낸다는 것이 쉽지 않습니다.
이제는 이렇게 되면은
됐어요.
자원을 먹어도 소용이 없게 되는 거죠. 이곳에서 프로브가 열심히 일해도 본진 한쪽이 자 GG.
정윤종 선수가 김인중 선수를 잡아내면서 그것도 다수의 셔틀 플레이로 4강 진출을 이뤄냅니다. 정윤종이 가네요.
Welcome back. Here at the ASL, we have a 2-1 lead for Hero. Not surprisingly, Hero dominated on the map Sparkle, but we're going to Gladiator now.
Yeah, and this is the map that Hero vetoed. I don't think it's particularly bad for Zerg. I think it's a pretty good map overall, to be honest. But the other maps are pretty darn awesome, where you can just get additional gases whenever you want.
If you're a Zerg player, the reason why you'd veto this map is because then there's another spot for Sparkle.
Yeah.
How about that?
Sparkle Third World, man, you always get those additional gases.
Yeah.
Transistor, I guess, is the bigger question mark. But yeah, this is the more standard map. This should be the map that everyone's very comfortable on. Depending upon spawn positions, there's some cooler builds that you can do. There's some link-tight walls on this map where the Marine can pop out on the inside of your wall. And so those spots are at a premium for Mine. But yeah, let's see how Gladiator goes. This is definitely a map where Mine can fight back. I want to see a Game 5 so bad.
All right, let's go. Game 4, Hero versus Mine.
Attention! ASL Season 5. Turnaround.
That split was about as bad as my splits.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
It happens to everybody.
So
Isn't that funny? It happens to everyone.
And they happen to show him too. Man.
So, I think the most important map in this series was actually Game 2 on Transistor. Because if Mine wins there, then he still has a shot.
Wait, I'm sorry. Say that again?
The second game that we had here. The
Oh,
one
on
that
Third
Mine
World?
won.
Oh wait, no, the
No,
first
game 1
game
was on
he
Third
won.
World. Game 2 was on Transistor.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. You're
and
right.
then Game 3 was on Sparkle. So the fact that Mind won on Transistor, that might be the most important map for him to actually take it. Because, first of all, Mind can absolutely win on this map. He's got another shot on Third World to make some adjustments.
Yeah.
After seeing what Hero did in that last game.
Well, I'm hoping he can take this so we can go to Game 5. By the way, the amount of people that obviously came here from work today that are wearing like suits and dress shirts.
Yeah.
I love it.
I know.
Love it.
We're in a pretty busy business area down here.
Yeah.
Commercial as well, but there's a lot of big companies.
A lot of offices around here and stuff.
Why not come down after work?
We're actually in an office building.
That's right. Our studio
Yeah.
takes up some space of this giant office
In fact,
building.
I think every office, every studio in Seoul almost is in an office building now I think about it. I've been to like all of them.
I think every office building needs an esports studio in it. How about that?
I think that's a great idea.
Yeah, I think so.
Wow.
Okay, so we have Mind with the depot out on the map right away. And it looks like, not out on the map, I should say, at his expansion. So we're probably going to see a command center get planted down here. Hero, also not with a quick pull, just macroing up.
Yeah, Mind here with a command center first. Okay. Pretty cool.
There is some risk with this if the Zerg decided to do something crazy, but
yeah,
I think it's fair to say that Hero probably wouldn't do that. So
yeah, and it's a 4-player map, right? So it's a little bit harder to even find them if you do want to go for the quicker pool, I guess.
Right. On a lot of 4-player maps, these are the kind of builds you want to do.
Oh my
sick.
God. Okay, this is extremely interesting that he is actually choosing to send 2 more drones, and he actually went 3 hatch here as well.
Yeah, so what he's trying to do is kill off the SCV that's making the barracks.
Yeah.
And then these other drones come up here and start to really pick a fight. Now, does that block them out?
Yeah, that blocks the drones out. By the way, the drones actually have slight range on their attack. Just throw that out there. So that's part of the reason why this is actually working. And they do regen a little bit. It's pretty slow regen.
Oh, my God.
Oops.
So he cancels the depot to get these other SCVs over here.
Yeah, this is a pretty big reaction. Hero actually went double hatch before spawning pool. So
I think
nice
Mind
kill.
is expecting there to be lings, so he's panicking.
Would he have killed his depot if there were lings on the way?
Yeah, I'm actually not sure. This is a very
I think
cool
he would
style.
have. Yeah, I think he had to. I think you're right. I think he had to come out here and kind of pressure the drones back because you got to get your Marines inside anyways. This is not a wall where Marines pop out on the inside.
Right, because it's the top part of the map, so you never get the ideal wall in this Terran. But then Mind comes down here and checks and says, oh, there is no ling threat. In fact, you're droning up heavily.
Yeah, the pool is so late. But it can be. He scouted him nice and quickly and made some adjustments. So good on Hero so far. Normally, Mind is the one that wins mind games a bit more, being as this is kind of his style. It's his ID, for God's sake, and there's a reason that it is his ID, I'm sure. I don't know it exactly, but he's always been known as kind of like a genius Terran, the way that he plays. But so far, Hero's really gotten the upper hand in these ways. So really cool to see. And I mean, that's something Flash talked about as well, about how smart and with it Hero is as a Zerg player.
So I would say Hero's position is maybe a little bit better, but it's not something. It's not like Mind can't recover from this. You know, it's he's fine.
And so what Mind is going for here, that was an engineering bay that we saw in the main base. So he's going for a +1. I imagine he'll go up to 5 barracks here as well. He's also adjusted his wall in a little bit so that Marines can flow freely in and out. But yeah, just some more standard play here from Mind, and that's totally a good style for this map.
Okay, Mind beginning to push some of these lings out, trying to keep the pressure on Hero here.
Yeah, and this type of wall, he doesn't even have to get a bunker up, so that's really nice as well.
Yeah.
So you can just kind of make his barracks a little bit more quickly. Notice the couple of creep colonies coming up. This is a little bit of a throwback to the Transistor game, of course, right?
Correct.
And as well, he did move out on this map as well against Shine in their round of 16 group. So Hero's done his homework. He remembers the past games, the past game that he lost and all. So just playing a little bit safe here.
So SCV's going to try to come in here. Now, there aren't any Lings to block, but
What?
these drones can take it out.
What am I looking at?
Look at this, he's going to catch it.
He is. So his mind here now, you spent that extra money to get an SCV out, and you actually don't know if he has a Hydralistan or a Spire.
Yeah, you always get the scanner a little bit later after the academy's done because you want to get extra SCVs.
Yeah.
In the older days, people got the scanner right away, but it's proven that you don't need it that badly. But
yes,
ideally you want to get an SCV on there and just be like, okay, are you going for mutas or are you going for lurkers? What's your story here?
Yeah, it's such an advantage for Terran if you can actually scout that with an SCV. But you get 2 scans, you can generally find it with it. And this time he definitely can because he scouted the natural with that SCV at least. So he'll scout it. And the thing is, this is exactly when you get your scans anyways. If you start your turrets around 620, you're totally fine against a 3 hatchery play. And he knows that it was a 3 hatchery play. So everything is going fine for Mine from here, even though there were a few road bumps early on.
Okay. Now Mind is entering into a pretty hefty macro phase, and this is where we're going to start seeing some resemblance from Game 2. Mind has the muscle. Hero has to get that third base up. This is a large theme in Terran versus Zerg, where you need to be ready. Now, there's lots of tools that are available for Hero to try to keep Terran delayed, but ultimately he has to be very careful. Now, this small group of units out here is going to have to come back into the main now and try to slow this down. Now, that was a really good shot. Ooh, miscontrol there by Hero. So he lost 1 muta.
And he took some reasonable damage on the others, too.
When you have them bunched up like this, it's usually hard to just get 1 muta to get killed off because the AI will prioritize different mutas each time.
Yeah, that's why you're always actually attack clicking on the mutas. Generally what you do instead of an attack move against these is attack and target a Mutalisk. And it's like better if you can target a hurt Mutalisk, but that can be hard. Just targeting any Mutalisk is generally good. You want that damage really focused. So you can see he has been doing that as best he can.
Okay, nice hit there. Any isolated units he wants to try to come out here and hit. It looks like that turret will finally finish. Got to be careful here.
There are some Sunkens back home, so he will not be broken right now. He's got enough Lings and Mutas and Sunks, so he should be fine.
And so, I'm sorry, go ahead.
The third base, though, if he makes a beeline to it, I think the Lurkers will still be ready in time, but we'll see. See a lot of scans going off.
So you want to send those Hydras down. You always have to morph the Lurkers over at the third base.
Yeah.
You need to get that there. The Marines and Medics will beat anything if there's an open area. So you want to keep those Lurkers back there. Get the Lurkers on the low ground ramp, and the bottleneck positioning of that will allow the Lurkers to completely annihilate the Marines. Now he's scrambling to come down here. I don't know if he's bought enough time here.
Yeah, the egg on the ramp, there's already a Lurker bird behind it. And with the Mutas in the background, I don't think he can risk anything here. He's having to continually stimp chase Mutas. His Marines won't be at full health. You don't want, look.
Yeah, you can't get down there.
It's impossible.
Now we might see a dropship come out in a second. This has become a lot more trendy in 2017, 2018. Whoa! Nice attack over here. Takes out a good chunk of that. There was a Mutalist that was killed off in that fight.
Pretty good overall. We'll see a Science Vessel popping out here. He's going to move out with his 2 tanks. This is a very sharp build right now that Mine's doing. He is, first off, he's got to not lose a tank. Second off, he's just got to make a beeline and attack immediately before Defilers can get out.
Okay.
Oh, Greater Spire actually before the Defiler mount. I love it.
This is a really cool alternative style that you
Yeah.
can do against the 5 Barracks Marine. Then in the back of the Terran set, they're always thinking, okay, this is a possibility. But with this push coming out here, he can actually try to knock this back. Now, Mine's going to try to go for a tank push. He's going to gun down the... Nope, it lives.
Oh, if he needs to kill it. Yeah, there you go. It's even worth the 2 Mutas, unfortunately.
It's better if it's twice as long to break down this sunk wall.
Yeah. He just needs to buy time. Once he has the Guardians out, it becomes reasonable that he might be able to hold this. Wow, Mine with a very quick move there to try to kill those Lurkers as they unburrow.
Okay, wow. that was handled so well by Hero. I am blown away.
Yeah.
Keep in mind that he lost a lot of Mutos, so he doesn't quite have as many Guardians, or he will not quite have as many Guardians. But there's a dropship coming in here.
Yeah, I think those are 2 lurkers morphing over there.
Yeah, they are.
And those 3 lurkers we saw come over for the flank were from that base. So that's going to be basically all of his defense is these 2 lurkers. And, well, a couple Hydras, I guess, as well. Mutas are on the way down here. Heroes realize that this should be the next point of contention.
Okay, he's going to dive on top of that lurker.
Oh,
he might have enough. He's going to target down these Marines.
Yeah, he's going to be able to clear this, but that was really good. Killing extra Mutas, making the Mutas fly around the map right now. They aren't being made into Guardians. He's killed extra Mutas off as well. Just keeping pressure on. I'm getting chills. This is how you play TVZ. You keep on the pressure, and Zerg can't do what they want.
It's so impressive what he's able to do here. Now, he's going to try to push in here again. He sees the lurker eggs, decides to back up. Yeah, I mean, really keeping the Zerg honest. Now, this is a very specific strat that Mine did to try to push that while dropping that expansion. Heroes thwarted both. Now, that being said, Hero's not able to do exactly what he wants to do, but Hero's defense has been pretty stellar so far.
Yeah, he's kept all of his economy together, that's for sure. And he got a pretty strong economy early on. Let's see what these drops can do, though. Some Lings waiting in the main base. No Scourge, though. Just now getting his first Evolution Chamber. That's kind of a big deal. It's 1-1 already for Mine.
Nice drone drill here to make this drop not viable.
Getting double Evolution Chamber, try to make up some lost ground there on those upgrades. Keeping him busy.
Could he actually break this? I don't think there's any lurkers here.
Yeah, until the lurkers and Lings come up, absolutely you can attack that.
Yeah. Okay, here we go. One D-Matrix Marine here in the front. Now, is this the straw that breaks the camel's back? The lurkers need to come up here. There is a Defiler.
Oh, does he have it?
Okay, he's got 1 Dark Swarm down here, but there's actually not much under that. Okay, he gets enough Lings under there. He backs up. But Terran may want to press the issue here. It's Consuma's not done, right?
I don't think it is, no. Or he would be eating Lings already.
Yeah.
Okay, now it finishes.
Okay, just finishes. Occasionally, if you can get there before Consume's done, you can actually break the Zerg player.
Burrows had a radiated lurker. That'll be going down shortly. He killed off the Nidus, so there might be another attack route where he can hit the bottom right. There's not that much over here without the Nidus. We did notice that he sniped that down specifically, so of course another Nidus coming up immediately.
Yeah, that's definitely going to telegraph that there's going to be some attention devoted down here.
Yeah.
But Hero has to act very quickly. Zerg is basically hanging on until they have Defilers, then Terran's in hell.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, there's not enough Irradiates here.
Yeah, but he's trying, he's walking back and forth. He's looking for openings here. Look at that, the Defiler even eats an Overlord. He has to eat anything he can right now just to make sure he holds on.
Generally, it's considered probably one of the worst units to consume as an Overlord. You only consume that if it's an emergency.
Yeah.
Ideally, you want to just be doing Lings. That's the worst thing to do to consume would be another Defiler. But
the very worst is an Ultralisk, and I've seen it.
Ooh.
It can occasionally be the right move.
Wow, okay, so the massive dropship style is going to come into play. Because there's not a ton of Defilers, you're looking for some weak point to destabilize a Zerg. If you can drop enough, especially into the main, for instance, then you're able to suddenly do just so much damage, and you can keep running away from Dark Swarms. When Terran's trying to push in here, there's a very specific area you can keep Dark Swarm in and Terran can't advance, but if you get into the main, there's all sorts of locations you can run to.
He's keeping the pressure on so brilliantly, too. He pops over to the third base. He comes back to the front natural, right? He starts irradiating everything. He's showing himself everywhere. For Hero right now, he doesn't know where he is. And now suddenly he's in the main base with mass Firebats here. The Zerglings are here to defend, but Zergling's not going to fare that well against this many Firebats.
Hey, Mind is stimming up. And you're exactly right, Artosis. With this many Firebats, Dark Swarm is much less of an issue.
And it's really the lurkers that need to clear
going
this.
for the Defiler mound.
Oh, this is so much damage being dealt right now in this main base. The Evolution Chambers, huge kills too if he can get them. Oh my God, especially if that was the Carapace one.
Okay, and look at this. The moment that the lurkers get under the Dark Swarm, he just stems and backs up. He's still just doing so much damage. Now the Spire under attack, which means if there's not going to be any Scourge available, and then this bust over here in the front, I think Mine just did it, Artosis.
Really looks that way. Mine playing a magnificent game here. Oh, the Swarms come up.
So sick. Split second play there, but he can continue to irradiate. I believe there's still some Terran presence in the main here.
Yeah, there's still Marines down there, I think. Oh, I guess he just finished clearing that up. But look, their radiates are staying on. He's got his own third base set up.
Okay.
There is an additional base being taken by Hero, but he's doing everything he can just to hold on.
I have to point out that had that Dark Swarm not gotten up, this game would have just ended. But it's going on. But Mind is looking very hard to stop. He's continuing to bash away here at Hero.
Did you see those upgrades as well?
I did not.
2-1 against 0-0 right now.
Wow.
And he killed one of the evolution chambers. And again, if it was the Carapace one, that's just, like, you need Carapace upgrades.
A lot more lurkers are coming up here to try to defend, but there's another drop coming in here as well. And again, with an army upgraded this much, you got to be careful because Terran could take a lot of fights that it looks like they normally couldn't win. Oh, wow. How funny.
This is so
okay,
funny.
There it is, GG.
Like two Marines.
Yeah, we're going to game 5. Hell yeah.
Yeah, this was really well played by Mind here. Hero even got a little bit of an edge in the early game, I felt like. I thought that was a really cool drone harassment he pulled off, and he got his third base up with no ties. I mean, really well done, but that dropship play, the radiates, the constant pressure back and forth, especially preventing him ever from making a Guardian.
It was beautiful.
Yeah.
It was just incredible how good Mind was at breaking Hero. And Hero is somebody I feel is an incredibly fierce opponent. Now we're going to go to Third World.
Yeah.
Now, Third World was a map that Hero managed to pull up. It was definitely the craziest game of this entire series.
Oh, yeah.
And minus Sparkle, this has been one of the best Brood War series we've casted in a long time.
You can't ask for much on Sparkle unless it's a mirror, I think. Okay, well, I mean, yeah, Third World, that was so mind gaming there, right? Like, he wasn't going mutas, and Mind was countering mutas, and I don't know what's going to happen there next time.
So we're watching the moment. This is where Hero started to crumble.
Yeah.
You can see Dark Swarm is being invested over here. Now, Zerg's on 3 base, but it hasn't really kicked in yet. Consume's available, but when you drop here, Dark Swarm will save one area of the base. It won't save everything. And especially with Fire Bats, which can still kind of fight under Dark Swarm, ideally against Lynx, not so much against Lurkers, it becomes problematic, right? We see good targeting here on that one Defiler. This is starting to get out of control. The Defiler mound is the first thing targeted. The Spire is second. And from there, the dropship play begins to snowball and Mind takes the victory.
Yeah, this is just such an awesome draw. And the thing is, it's hard to even set something like this up because he's been so active and so aggressive. It's really the key to how Mind was able to get in here and not, you know, if you try this at home as a Terran player, you're going to fly into Scourge, there's going to be Lings waiting and stuff because the Zerg's actually out on the map, he's watching what you're doing. But Mind is so threatening that Hero doesn't even know.
Wow. The question is, can Mind overcome this map? Third World. This is a map where if Zerg gets the island, it's going to be very tough. We're going to find out. After this short break, we go to our final game in tonight's ASL. Stick around.
We ride, watching the world fade away, and we're headed for the sun, higher than the sun. We ride, feeling the ground start to sway. Now we're leaving everyone behind. Leaving everyone behind. Leaving everyone behind.
Life is good.
Life is
ASL
great.
is back. We're tied up 2-2. Mine is playing brilliantly. He seems to be able to take on Hero on conventional, traditional StarCraft Brood War maps, but how will he do it on Third World? He looked very strong at the start, but was unable to control the island location. He was only able to control the landlocked location.
Yeah. Well, this is a little bit stressful because if you don't open up anti-muta and they play the way most Zergs do,
yeah,
you're not going to really hit a good push, I guess, right? It's going to be very difficult to do so. That's why the meta is so twisted on this map, because Muta is so strong here. But the fact that Hero's willing to not play Muta and do some other stuff, it makes it really hard. Like, what does Mine do? What does Hero do, for that matter? What if he opens Muta and suddenly Mine shows him why Mine has a big win rate on this map? He's very good against the Zerg standards, the Zerg norms here. I don't know what we're going to see.
I don't know.
And I came in today really thinking Hero's probably going to go all the way to the finals again. But right now, Taste, I got my fingers crossed that I get to see Rain try to defeat Mine next. Oh my God.
That would be crazy. And Hero, again, he was in the finals of the ASL, so like the fact that he's
just last season.
Yeah, just last season, basically making him the best Brood War Zerg in the world.
Yeah.
But here we go. It's all going to come down to this game. Game 5, Hero versus Mine on the map Third World.
Attention! ASL Season 5. Yeah. Turnaround.
I'm so pumped for this match right now.
Me too. By the way, they've reversed spawns this time around.
Oh my gosh.
So it's going to be Mine here at the bottom and Hero at the top. Now, I don't know if there's any special builds or tricks you can use on this map, but spawn locations are very important in a Brood War game. There's certain tricks you can do with certain structures, certain walls you can make. Let's just see if there's anything like that this time around.
Yeah. Nothing comes to mind, so as you said, let's wait and see. Wow. This series, I mean, Mine has always been one of my favorite Terrans. You know this, Tasteless. I've always loved and worshipped this man. In fact, back in the heyday of Brood War, I don't even know if that was a heyday now because it's getting so good again, but back in the day, as we call it, we old folk, I liked him even more than Flash, personally. And to see him really return to this kind of like awesome level that he's at right now.
Yeah.
The way that he's playing tonight against Hero, overall, Tasteless, I actually think Mine has played a better series than Hero. Okay, Sparkle seems unwinnable.
Sparkle, just, I look at that and I'm like, okay, I mean, you better win this Hero. You better win it handedly, right? But
even the Third World game that Hero won, Hero like way out metagamed Mine, which is definitely something that has to do with skill and stuff, but like Mind like really made that a game when to me it felt like it shouldn't have been a game. It felt like Hero had outdone him several times in a row and everything was going wrong, right? Like his rates didn't do anything, and then his tank drop didn't really do anything, and you know, this and that and the other thing, and Mind still fought back really well. So I don't know. I feel like Mind is just on fire tonight.
I wonder if he's going to hide a factory here.
Yeah.
I was looking at this map and just wondering, you could make a factory out here, send a Vulture over to that third base area, and Zerg kind of can't get it. You could even land your factory where the hatchery is supposed to be when they try to make that third hatchery and buy time. I don't know. Please, Mind, make me look good.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, obviously, this is out here for some reason. Sometimes you send it out way early to make sure it doesn't get scouted. It seems like it's a factory.
Oh, wow. It goes around the Overlord. Okay.
Ah.
So he waited for the Overlord. He
a
had the
proxy
time
fact.
to...
A siege tank push. Yeah, the other one is for the Overlord to see because you want to scout.
Of course. Okay.
So this, I mean, I don't know if this is for Vultures to run by or a tank, but it seems to me to be a tank. He might just do straight up a one-base tank push, which is a really funny all, and you do like a bunker.
It's like,
and
in theory, not good, but actually, if you catch the Zerg off guard, it's like,
it can work.
Uh-oh,
yeah.
This is a little bit more damage than I was ready for.
Yeah.
There were styles that were like this a long time ago, and eventually people just got good at making enough lings and everything.
Okay, so this is actually a 2-hatchery play, and he doesn't know because there was a drone on the ramp.
Yeah. Now, I don't know if this is going to change what he's trying to do. I don't know. Is it going to be that push? Is he just going to make Vultures out here?
He's not making any Marines, so it seems more like Vulture now. This might, yeah.
There it is.
What this might be is it might just be timed so that it gets there before a Sunken is ready, because there's a very specific timing, kind of like if you watch StarCraft 2, when you proxy an Oracle, you know the Spore is going to go up, but you're going to get there right before the Spore.
Right.
Right, and that could be what this is, right? And this SCV is actually giving away a little bit. See this? He's blocking the Sunken from being made.
Yeah.
So the first Vulture will get in 100%.
So this Vulture, if it's controlled perfectly, can do
insane
comical
damage.
amounts of damage.
It can kill every unit Zerg has.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Now, he's got to try to control the ramp well. There's a little bit of RNG with whether or not these shots connect when they're firing uphill.
And if too many miss, then suddenly it holds for a really long time.
Now, the Wraiths are going to follow up with this. And so when the Wraiths come there, oh my god, he could get that second Vulture in, but he's not. Oh, maybe he wants to keep that outside, actually. I don't know.
Keep it outside to prevent any Linga counterattacks.
I thought initially he wants, no matter what, that to get in there. But the Wraiths follow this up, and the Wraiths can kind of combo with the Vulture if the Vulture's not picked off in time. The location the Vulture's placed it is very intentional with some cover here. And I think he is just not quite going to be able to do anything else there. You know, it's 3 Vulture shots to kill a drone.
Yeah, there's a point of instant heal on Zerg units. As soon as you hit them, they heal up. Okay, but it's 1 base, 2-port Wraith going up against 2-hatch Muta. And I know a little bit about this because I was watching Last do this build, not with the proxy factory, but overall this build. Ooh.
Okay, you know, it's tricky
bad.
because if you're not watching that Vulture, both the Vultures and the Wraiths can do tons of damage, but also will die very quickly.
Yeah.
So you got to be very attentive.
And okay, so he's actually going to make some creep colonies. So the practice with Last was actually very important because Last was punking on Hero with 1 base, 2-port Wraith. And I was wondering if we'd see Mind do that at all because like Last was doing it a lot against him in their practice. But I mean, you can definitely utilize this very well. Ooh, okay, can he actually connect? I think the Wraiths will get away.
Well, hold on. There's one over here on the side.
Yeah,
oh, wait, he miscontrolled that.
Yeah, he did.
I don't think he can actually...
They get away now for sure.
Yeah, try to lane that into the Wraiths.
You fly him over the Marines. Now, generally how you'll play this is you'll obviously focus a lot on your Wraiths, but eventually you're going to get into Marine Medic and an expansion. The expansion will be quite a bit later. You really just got to kind of have a decent army and keep your Wraiths alive. And Zerg has to make a lot of units to fight against this, so their economy is never going to get really big.
So this is kind of funny. He had some mutas out here. Unfortunately, does not catch the Wraiths, but this is very tricky for Terran right now. I mean, Terran ideally wants to get a base up very quickly. If you're going to do this, you have to make this work or Zerg gets too big. one base Terran. You know, this is
so hard to do.
By the way, this is not that new age. There's been a lot of variations of this style of play over the history of StarCraft.
Yeah.
It's always been one of the more fun ways to play. But mine's somebody who's basically telling us that you can do this at the very highest level.
Yeah, which really wasn't too much of a thing before. People played with this a little bit when people figured out exactly how to do it because it could be done with mutas. There was one pro gamer that kind of like based his entire TVZ play off of this. Everyone used it a little tiny bit, but there's this one guy named Lomo that did it like every game.
Oh, and he was so good at controlling those raids.
Yeah, he was ridiculously brutal with the build, but the thing is, like, he wasn't one of the best Terrans in the world. He was just a very good pro.
Right.
So
he actually supply blocked Hero just temporarily there. And he's going to keep trying to poke in here. And then he combos this with a bunch of Marines later on. And it basically takes away a lot of the momentum here for Hero. Hero doesn't get to have the initiative on the map.
Yeah. Eventually, you'll go into Vessel from here as well. You won't stay on Wraith for absolutely ever. Because obviously, Irradiate with your Marines is pretty crazy strong. The Wraiths just are kind of keeping Hero in line. You have to play defensively because if you don't, the Wraiths will hunt you down. You're going to have to get Overlord speed. You're going to have to sit around with your Spores. You're going to have to keep making mutas and stuff, or the Wraiths will kill them.
Okay, so the Wraiths are at a pretty scary number up here. And again, because they can be controlled just like Mutalisks can, occasionally they can just get some pot shots off that are just huge as far as damage goes. Whoa! Oh my god, he's so good at controlling this.
Hey, look at this. He's trying to keep them exactly out of Overlord range. It's not working 100% though. But if he just reduces this count when the Marines and Medics coming out, that's definitely useful.
Whoa!
Okay, he's got to repair those, man. Those have no health.
Was he just going to go for it?
No.
No, did you?
No, you can't break that yet. You need a lot more Marines than that. I think that he overcommitted with those Wraith engagements. The way he was microing felt to me like he was trying to stay on the very edge of Overlord vision and it wasn't working.
Right, yeah. And it's kind of sad because there were like 3 moments where he ate damage.
Yeah.
And the number of Wraiths got reduced so dramatically. It's 3 Wraiths now.
Yeah.
What was it, like 8 or 9 before that fight happened?
Yeah, and now he's going to lose all these Marines.
Okay, but the Wraiths come out.
Yeah.
Keep in mind.
He's got 3 of them deep red, though. Even if he was repairing, then 2 of them were still deep red. He lost
one.
one.
Glaives are the Zerg's best friend in moments like this when everything's low on HP, because even if you don't target, the Glaives can do a lot of that heavy lifting for you.
And he's making Marines. He's got to get turrets up. Absolutely knows that. Sending multiple SCVs down, repairing, making turrets, everything. He has to get this command center up immediately. His economy definitely is something he needs to work on from here. Okay, he has the turrets up. Get back to those turrets. Okay. I'm like going to coach him here. I'm like, no, stay calm. Say your turrets. Okay. Get to those turrets. Yep. Make him get to the turrets. Okay. Fire volleys off when they come in. Here we go.
This number of Marines number of Mutalisks is an issue.
Yeah,
Zerg's going to take his 3rd base. There's not a lot that Terran can do, especially on this map, to prevent the 3rd base from being taken, especially with the mutas out as they are.
All right, some little bit of miss micro there from Mind, unfortunately. The muta's just sitting on the turret
He just did it. I think. Hold on.
Got the repair.
Yeah, that turret is what's keeping Mind in this game.
Yeah. And Hero is taking a 3rd hatchery during all of this.
Right.
Mind has to continue to hold on. It's kind of too bad. The micro battle on the way back where he lost all the Wraiths is really biting him in the butt right now. He's having to continually make Wraiths just to stay alive. His production buildings just aren't enough. Like if he had more barracks, he could make more Marines and maybe hold on with Marines, but he's having to make Wraiths. It's costing him gas. They cost a lot of money. They aren't being nearly as effective as they once were. At this point, you really want to be making a Vessel by now.
Yeah.
And he can't afford it.
Yeah.
Staying alive is the #1 thing. Ooh! Nice little pickup.
Big whiff there by Hero. Is there any chance that Zerg tries to make a couple of lings here?
Yeah.
Go for it.
I think he sent a few, yeah.
Oh, there they are. I'm sorry. I thought those were mutas moving down on the map. So
I don't know if he wants to actually engage that, though. With the 3 turrets, I don't think he can do it yet.
Yeah, that might be a little bit too ambitious. The thing is, he's still just chipping away at these SCVs that come in here. And, you know, Mind is continually making raids, so he's in this odd tech stasis, if you will.
Yeah. But don't forget, there's not that many drones on Hero's side. these weird two-hatch games where you see the mutas continually get damage, they're a little bit tricky to look at and actually gauge where everyone is at, because a lot of the times when they just keep making mutas and sending them down like this, as soon as you fully stabilize, the Zerg is in a bad place.
Yeah, you make a very good point, Artosis, because what we're seeing now is Terran getting a whooping here, but in reality, economically, Hero's also kind of in a tech stasis as well.
Yeah, like, see, he's starting to lose his mutas. What else does he have going on but mutas? Well, he does have his third base.
Well, hold on, he's gonna get all these Marines here, and now he has Overlord speed, which makes his muta micro kind of look funny.
Yeah, yeah. Very
wow,
true.
he's been so devoted to micro in here. He doesn't even have those 2 drones mining right away at his expansion.
Ooh, he's getting enough to actually add some barracks now. So
it's funny because we were watching this, we're seeing Marines and Wraiths, but really the thing that's actually keeping Hero from closing this is the turrets.
Oh yeah, the fact that there's 3 turrets here and he keeps repairing them. He's being very careful not to let those die, because if those go away, the game's gonna end. These mutas still working hard, man. They got that +1 carapace. I love it. Battle mutas.
Yeah. Now he's starting to get links.
Yeah.
Now the problem is that one medic is sometimes. Oh my God, he got 1 turret. 1 medic is not enough if all these links come in here. Oh.
How many links did he actually make?
He can actually get that.
Okay, we got 6 so far.
Oh, this actually might not be enough. The Marines are actually placed in between the turrets really perfectly. But he gets only 1 more turret remaining.
Yeah, but he actually lost a decent amount of mutas right there. Oh, the micro on the race there for a moment a little bit off. There is a 3rd barracks up now.
Keep in mind, guys, Terran's not mining from this while we're watching this.
Yeah.
So it's kind of an. Okay, I think that might be it.
No, mine's still in this. It's getting a little bit hurtful because it looks like another hatchery is being taken by Hero. But Mind, like, he still has 3 medics here, right? He's making 3 Marines at a time. He's still making Wraiths. He can break the back of these mutas eventually.
Yeah.
And if he breaks the back of the mutas, then, you know, he can do something. Maybe it's get a drop ship to go to the other side of the map. Maybe it's try to attack. Maybe it's pick off Overlords. But
you make a very good point, Artosis. Oh, so I'm sorry, go ahead. I think you were still making
it's just, like, I think Hero's in a little bit better position, but it's playable. You don't leave right here.
Right.
Very micro-intensive battle right now.
The Wraith count's getting low. Keep in mind, he needs the Wraiths there to actually see the mutas on the high ground.
Yeah, that's true, too.
Oh, no. Oh, my God.
No.
Okay, 1 medic goes down.
Keeping the medics alive is really, really crucial. Wow, that was a lot of extra damage on the mutas.
Okay, the mutas are still over here. Artosis is 100% right on that slow growth here from the Zerg on the top side of the map. Zerg's on 4 bases. Terran just now started to mine from his 2nd.
He's getting his extra gases, too, so this is starting to get out of control right now. Like,
yeah.
The fact that he has, like, 4 gases at the moment, that's a lot, man. Like, you need splash damage. Valkyries or Vessels. He doesn't have either of those right now.
Yeah, there's starting to be more mutas than there are Wraiths. Obviously more mutas than there are.
You're going to see a ton of Scourge come down at some point, I think.
Well, if he can go back in there and get those 3 turrets again. Gosh, his muta count is going up. You're right, Artosis. Those extra gases are really beginning to pick up. Keep in mind, guys, how long has this fight been going on? This is crazy.
Yeah, it's been nonstop. Still gaining a little bit of value here and there. Those turrets, keep in mind in the game, he doesn't have enough to fight him without. Jeez.
Yeah, he can keep rotating mutas in and out of these groups too, whichever one's the weakest.
Mind is like spending every dime he has on these units. I don't think he has an armory for Valks. I don't think he's made a science facility or anything like that.
Yeah, 1 Valkyrie on hold position over there would be pretty handy.
It would be huge, but it's so expensive. Valkyries cost 250 minerals.
Oh my God.
Plus the armory.
More mutas again. It's been one of the longest fights we've had here in the ASL.
Yeah.
Getting to 16 minutes here, just over this location. And as the muta numbers grow, and Terran seems to be at around the same amount. 1 more shot. and it's just one Wraith left. One Wraith, one Marine, 2 medics, and the 3 turrets. Is this where he can actually break them? Keep in mind those glaives are continuously doing damage to some of those turrets in the back. GG, Mind taps out.
An intense final game. That was a good 10 minutes plus of micro. Really, that was micro from the beginning because it was a proxy vulture. Like, that was crazy, crazy, crazy. But I think that the real key moment there was the retreating Wraith battle as the Marine medic was coming up. Mind lost a few more Wraiths than he could have there, and Hero kept unreal pressure on with his just fantastic micro. That was another great game, a fantastic series.
Yeah. Even though Hero's economic growth was very slow because he was basically all in with those mutas, he was keeping Mind from mining from his base.
Yeah.
I mean, Mind was fighting to control that position, not even to keep a base alive there. And as it began to add up and those additional gases that those other expansions were taken, the muta count was getting bigger and bigger, and Mind was eventually going to get decimated.
Wow. Just an awesome game, an awesome series. Everything about that series badass. Both these guys so deserving of being in the round of 8.
8강 비조 경기 끝까지 함께 하셨습니다. 풀세트까지 가는 접전 끝에 두 번째 4강 진출자가 탄생했습니다. 바로 조일장 선수인데요. 지금 바로 만나보겠습니다. 고생 많으셨습니다. 다시 한번 축하드립니다.
감사합니다.
와, 경기가 끝나고 쉽사리 자리에서 일어나지 못할 정도로 정말 온몸에 긴장이 되셨을 것 같아요.
Just be sitting there
자,
taking it
경기를
in.
끝내고 난 지금 기분
I could
어떠세요?
only imagine how intense those games were. How do you
이제
feel now?
알았어요. 아, 이겼구나. 아, 그래가지고 좀 너무
I
기쁘네요.
think only just now have I realized, okay, I've won.
지금
I
마이크를
feel
쥔
really
손이
happy.
살짝 떨릴 정도로
네.
정말
I can see you're
다섯
shaking with
번째
adrenaline.
세트는 그 테란 앞마당에서
Even as you're holding the
멘탈
mic.
컨트롤을 정말 몇 분 동안 하신 거예요. 그때 막 손 떨리지 않으셨어요?
You were so desperate with those mutalisks
밀
back
것
there.
같다 생각하면 막
What
뮤탈이
was going on in
녹고
your
밀것
head?
같다 생각하면 녹고 그래가지고
I thought, I can push the limits here.
많이
But then a lot of my
긴장됐는데
mutas were going down. I thought, okay.
풀어낼 수 있을 거다라는
예, 계속 거기서 소모만 해도 괜찮다고 생각을 했어요.
But my mutas kept getting shaved down.
거 뽑지 않는 이상은 그냥 계속 바꿔주기만 해도 이득일 것 같다고
Were you sure that you're going to win if you kept the pressure on in that location?
컨트롤했던 것 같아요.
I figured since I was growing, I could keep trading armies and it would end up with being an
온라인상에서의
advantage.
그런 승률이 매우 낮았거든요. 네, 올해 보니까 한 25% 정도의
Your win rate on third world has been really low.
가만히 놔두셨습니까?
I think it's
사실
around
몰랐어요.
20
저도
something percent
제가
on that
그렇게 많이
map.
졌다는 걸 몰랐고 그동안은 토스전을
I
많이
actually didn't realize I
해가지고
lost
이
that
맵에
many
대해서
games on that
테란전을
map.
하면은 괜찮지 않을까
Since I
생각을
played against
해서
Protoss a lot.
일단은 다른 맵을 밴을 했는데 연습 과정에서 너무 어려운 거예요.
I thought maybe I'd be okay
좀 상황이
against
잘
Terrans on that map.
풀려가지고 이길 수 있어서 다행이네요.
예, 하지만 그 두 번째 세트에선 패배를 하게 됐었습니다.
네.
또 오늘 드랍십에
Anyways, things worked well my way,
혼이
so I
많이
managed to
났죠.
win.
두 경기를 드랍십에 내게 됐었는데 이 드랍십에 이렇게
you've
자꾸
been beaten
뚫리게
by a lot
되면
of dropships in some
다음에
of these
테란을
games
만났을
today.
때 또 혼나지 않을까 싶어요.
Mine's
그리고
dropship
이게
control was very sharp.
그러니까 조금 불리할 때
What was your take on
드랍십을
that?
잘 당하거든요. 제가.
예.
그러니까 평소처럼 가면 이제 드랍십 오겠다 싶어서 이제 대비를 하는데 조금 빨리 와요.
I think when I was behind,
트랜지스터 이 경기도
I always lose the
드랍십
dropship play.
오겠다 생각하는 순간에 딱 떨어졌더라고요. 그래가지고 좀 많이 말린 상태다 보니까
When I get worried about dropships
흔들렸던
coming.
것 같아요.
예, 스파클에서는
And
어땠습니까?
I'm fully defended.
좀 중장기전을 펼쳐가면서 갑자기
Minus my
한 번의
armies.
경기를 끝내버렸는데
Then there'll be no
공격
dropships
타이밍을
there.
그대로 잡은 이유는요?
일단 연습을
But in a lot of those
하면서
moments, there's so much stuff going on.
스파클을
I end
스타팅
up
먹고
discounting dropships as a
스타팅만 딱
factor, and
먹으면
that's what cost
굉장히
me.
좋더라고요. 거의 이겨 있는 상황이더라고요. 일단
So on
스타팅
Sparkle.
먹고 천천히 해서 이제
After
디바우랑
I
뭐 뮤탈 스컬지 이제
started
히드라
with
드랍이
my
디파이랑 같이
expansions.
가면은 딱 그때가
pretty
연습
good
때도
games.
딱 이기는 타이밍이더라고요.
테란은 어떻게 막아야
It
됩니까?
was an easy map for me.
연습 때도 다 이렇게 이겼어요.
그냥 어려우셨는데 예, 연습 잘하면 된다고 합니다.
그렇죠.
네, 드랍십에 대한 과제는 남아 있지만 오늘
He
또
says,
제3세기
how have you ever lost
자신감을
against a
충분히
Terran on that
얻으셨을
map?
것
Because
같기 때문에 또 다가오는
you just gotta
4강이
practice a
더욱더
lot,
기대가
and,
되는데요. 아직까지
you'll be
이영호
okay
선수를
against
제외하고는 연속 결승 진출한 선수가 ASL에서
So
없거든요.
Flash
근데 머지
is the only
않으셨습니다.
player who's
기대가
been making it to the
되시나요?
finals consistently, but we
사실
see that
저는
you've been performing
그런
very well.
기록적인 부분은 신경을 아예 안 써가지고
And you might make it to the finals again, just like
윤종이랑 이제 하게
Flash.
됐는데 예, 그 경기부터
Yeah, I
일단
don't care
넘어야 될
that
것
much about
같아요.
my record.
이
Since my next
정윤종
opponent is
선수가
Rain,
조일장
I think I
선수를
just gotta think about him
상대로
before I
전적이
think about the
나쁘지
finals.
않다라고 얘기를 했거든요.
예.
조일장 선수는 정윤종 선수를 좀 어떻게 평가하시나요?
솔직히
Rain just mentioned his win rate
말하면은
against Hero is not
윤종이가
that bad. What's your take on
제일
his
잘한다고
comments?
생각해요. 토스 중에서 지금 태경 형이 군대 간 시점에서 제일 잘한다고 생각을
Personally, I think that Rain is the best Protoss now that Bisou's in the army.
이번에도 정말 재밌는 게임이 될 것 같아요.
자, 다가오는 정윤종 선수의 4강이 더욱더
I'm
기대가
already looking
되는데요.
forward to the
오늘
next
정말
matches.
많은 팬분들이 끝까지
Because it's
응원을
gonna be a really
해주셨습니다.
awesome series.
팬분들께도 한마디 부탁드립니다.
So a lot of fans have stayed at the studio late. Do you have anything you want to say to them?
너무너무 감사드리고
Once again, thank you for coming to the studio.
제가 이상하게 좀 다전제를 하면은 막 좀 피말리는 게임이 좀 많이 나오는 것
Whenever I play a
같은데
best of 5,
좀 팬분들
it always seems like really close
조금
matches.
편안하게 보실 수 있도록 준비 한번
Hopefully-
잘해보겠습니다. 너무 감사드립니다.
네, 다시 한번 4강 진출
I hope I can make a
축하드리고요.
great
오늘
series for
경기
you
고생
guys for the next
많으셨습니다,
phase of the
조일장
tournament.
선수.
So please tune in
자,
and
이렇게 해서
cheer for me.
8강
Once
B조에서
again,
승리하고
congratulations.
4강에 진출한 조일장 선수와
Cool.
함께 얘기 나눠봤습니다. 오늘의
Yeah.
경기 결과 화면을 통해서 다시 한번 확인해 보시죠.
Oh, what a great day we had today.
Yeah, this was a fantastic series, really well played from both sides. And here, moving on, gives us a dynamite round of 4. Oh my God, Rain, maybe the best PVC in the world right now that Bisou is retired, and going up against Hero, who is just a god of ZVP. He's so fearsome in this matchup.
Yeah.
Who wins that, Tasteless? With these maps, who wins that?
I don't know, man.
You think we're going to see a lot of Corsairs? I think we're going to see a lot of Corsairs.
I've heard the Corsair is a good unit, a good unit to have. I'm not saying anything yet. I need to really sit back and kind of let these two players and their play styles marinate in my head.
Yeah.
Because that's going to be a great series. And again, we need to point out that Hero, despite the huge popularity of Jaedong and Larva, really is the best Zerg out there right now. This guy is
It
just
seems
delivering.
This way, yeah. Of course, we're going to see Larva on our next episode of ASL.
That's right.
Which is Sunday, because we're in Tuesday right now, right?
That's right.
There
So
you
we're
go.
going to have Mini versus Larva. I think that's definitely one that Larva can take. And then Flash versus Snow. And by the way, Snow is a phenomenal PvT player.
He's the best PvT there is, man. Like, that's going to be a sick, sick match. Flash has been practicing a lot against Best. See if that works out for him. Yeah, this round of 8 is the best that we've had.
Very exciting to have Mini and Snow over here in this phase of the tournament. We're going to see if these players can actually perform and bring some great results.
Yeah. The rising Protoss stars.
I'd say definitely Larva and Flash, the fan favorites, easy peasy, but Mini and Snow are no joke.
No, they are definitely tough ones. I can't wait. I almost want to just like go to sleep until these are here. Like just sleep in this chair.
That's right.
And then like you shake me awake and then I'm like, ugh, what's that smell? And you're like, well, I mean, you were asleep for 5 days. You have wet yourself. You have pooped
You
in
have
your
not
pants.
bathed, but and you're like, okay, well, I'll take care of that after I cast these games.
Yeah. Well, it's been a great night, Tasteless. Great night. And you know what's going to be another great night? Tomorrow night.
We have GSL Codas tomorrow.
Yes. Group C coming up. That's going to be awesome. So make sure you tune into that as well.
That's right.
And I don't know. I don't got anything else. Do that.
I'm really glad that the games today were so awesome. I really appreciate seeing a good TVZ on maps like Gladiator, for instance, or Transistor.
Or Sparkle.
No Sparkle game I could do without. But honestly, just to see how strong Mind is and that he really can compete against a player like Hero, who's pretty dynamic, to be honest.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. It's been a great night, and I think Mind really shows that he is deserving of that second best Terran award. And
There's
Hero,
a reason why he got this far.
What if Hero goes to the finals again? What if he beats Flash? Suddenly we have another sick rivalry for the
That's
for the
very
record
true.
books.
The story continues to unfold, Artosis.
Yeah.
It's really a beautiful thing. So yeah, what do we have coming up here? We've got, if you're just somebody who's been watching the ASL, do join us for the GSL, not just on Wednesdays, but on Saturdays during the daytime as well. Yeah. And our next ASL match will be coming back on Sunday evening.
Yes, and then Tuesday again, and then we're done the round of 8, and then we get to start the real fun stuff. Ooh. As if this wasn't fun enough already.
It gets better and
that
better
Rain
the
versus
deeper
Hero
you go.
match. Rain versus Hero. They're starting practice tonight. There you go.
That's right.
It's pretty sick.
Pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have a lot of time actually to prep for that match.
Yeah, pretty nice actually.
Yeah.
Because we got a whole another week before this round's done, and then like probably 5 days after that.
That's right.
So they have like 12 days or something to prepare for each other. And
pretty crazy.
Yeah, so that's going to be... I love it when they have a long time to prepare as well, because you see them come in with such great builds, such great strategies. Like we saw that tonight. We saw a lot of mind gaming going on, a lot of refined play.
That's right. I really don't have anything else to say other than this is just a treat to cast. Guys, thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you tomorrow for the GSL Code S. We love you. Have a good morning, afternoon, or night, wherever you are. Mwah.
It's no more than a ghost. I'm not coming back, but tomorrow's unknown. I'm used to this pain, but what hurts me the most is knowing I'm wrong when I'm letting you go. I'm done with the past, it's no more than a ghost. I'm not coming back, but tomorrow.
2018 AfreecaTV StarCraft League. Turnaround. Ro.8 TV ASL Season 5.
When you're hurting deep down, when you're feeling like you're never gonna do